Not the Chuddle.
Chuddle. Surprise.
I have a real soft spot for evil.
Blood flying everywhere.
So good.
I'm a big boy who doesn't get scared.
Out of the mist and into the fog, it's Chuddle the Pod.
Welcome, hotel guests, to a brand new meeting of the Chuddle the Pod Horror Movie Club. Tonight we gather to discuss 2018's Hell House LLC II, the Abaddon Hotel. My name is Bryan, and I'm joined by my co-occupants, Ross and Sam. Sam's getting infected by the Abaddon, trying to mock it. Ross, thank you guys for being here, as always. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for having us.
You can never leave. You can never leave. Love ya. Tonight, before we get into our film, we have a very special first-time guest we have to welcome. Dustin, I have you from the Flicks and Friends podcast, but you got a few more to shout out as well. Thank you. Welcome. Fanfare and loud noises.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I'm glad we all did show up in time.
It worked out very well.
We did.
Yes, we are full tie-dye tonight, cast and crew. So welcome. Thank you. Tell us a bit about yourself and the podcast. Anyone that you want to represent tonight. All of them? Yeah, none of them?
Tell our audience.
Please do.
So yeah, I host a show called the Flicks and Friends podcast. We are a variety movie podcast. So we theme our months, and then that's how we pick our movies. I also am part of a show called B Action, where we put the B back in action. It's all those DVDs you find at fucking Blockbuster, and you look at the front of the cover and it's Hallie in oil painting, and you're like, I want to watch that.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I'm also part of a show called the Baron's Hideout podcast, where it's strictly horror stuff.
Nice.
Love it. Dipping fingers into all the categories. That must be fun. I love living in the horror world kind of 24/7, but it is interesting I always forget there's other movies out there sometimes.
He sends me some of the B-action stuff, some of the stuff that he's watching, he's DM'd me, and it is unbelievable. It's like hard to believe it's real, and honestly that there's that much of it.
Did you know Billy Blanks was an action star?
I had no idea till you sent me that one movie, and then apparently there's a ton of them.
Man, but yeah, I'm the horror guy on that action show.
Oh, okay.
That's great. I love that.
You'll fit right in. Have you seen RRR?
Definitely...
Sorry, it's not a B-action movie, but I can't help it.
Uh-oh.
Have you seen RRR?
I haven't, but I've heard of it.
I can't recommend it enough.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't want to overhype it.
I got hyped and I got sucked in, and it was fantastic.
It's a fun ride.
Hell
Go on the journey. I think you'll enjoy it. So thank you so much for jumping into here. We can't wait to go on this little hotel journey with you and get into that.
It's hotel month.
It is hotel month.
Chicken,
hotel
which
theme.
is
I want liver.
We'll get into all of that in a minute. We like to keep it spoiler free up top. We'll let you know when those spoilers are presented. And we also have our beautiful coven of patrons, which we give special thanks to, because their sacrifice gives us life, and we thank those beautiful souls.
Thank you.
Indeed.
You guys are awesome. You got a bunch of good bonus episodes out there that we're recording and we're releasing, and you're listening to. Hopefully they're being listened to. I think they are.
I hope so.
That'd be fun.
Probably.
You guys are just patrons and didn't listen, and they've never been listened to.
You guys have bonus content?
I just want those sweet stickers. Oh, interesting. And I want one of those awesome posters and all the different cool things you can get for joining up and becoming part of our coven.
What can you get?
Stickers and posters and bonus episodes.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's what you just said. Okay, yeah, perfect.
So with all that taken care of, all club members present and accounted for, let's open up that goo book and officially begin tonight's meeting.
Give me that goo. Oh, yeah.
Kick us off right away.
Let's do some lines.
Ross's favorite segment is going to bring us into some log lines and taglines, where we're going to kind of just talk about the log lines and taglines here. So, 2 years after escaping from demonic terror, a young woman is still haunted by unnatural visions. That is a terrible long line.
What?
It's terrible. It's
That
terrible. What does that have to do with anything that we
movie?
Also horribly inaccurate.
Exactly.
on IMDb?
That's why it's so bad.
Right?
Wow.
That explains something.
Wow.
There's something
I
going
mean,
on there.
it is hard to put into a sentence, I gotta say. Sentence or two, it's got a lot going on. But that is not correct.
That's a terrible, yes, an incorrect
Or maybe
line.
a new group checks into the Abaddon Hotel in search of more answers to X.
Anything would have been better.
Anything would have been.
The Abaddon Hotel again.
Yeah.
Again,
Right?
the sequel.
That'd have been great. Well, our tagline, so their tagline for it, though, 9 years following the tragic events at the Abaddon Hotel, an investigative news team went searching for answers. The truth was more terrifying than they ever imagined. That first sentence in the tagline is a better log line.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
is
a
it
long
8 years?
tagline.
Is it 8 years or 2 years after the events? I'm so confused on the timeline.
The timeline is wonky.
9 years.
Oh, that's all right. This is a weird weeble wobbly time thing. We'll get into it, but yeah.
Yeah, so
Is it timey
yeah,
wimey?
we'll definitely talk about it.
It is a little time and
I mean, to an extent, yes. I believe so. But yeah, we'll get
Time
in.
stands still at the Abaddon.
yes.
Yeah, it's
My
kind of
heart.
like, I mean,
Time.
following Hotel Month, it's like, the Shining Hotel. Like you just like,
Yeah.
you become part of it. You're just like in the picture from 19 whatever, just hanging out with everyone.
Yeah, hotels are really into taking people, huh?
Part of the hotel, part of the crew.
Yeah.
Never heard of an Airbnb taking anybody.
Not yet.
Yet.
Barbarian.
Not yet.
That's a
Maybe.
new one.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
true, but it's
But in a ghostly manner, in a demonic manner,
Oh,
where you
sure,
become
yeah.
one with the
You
Airbnb.
become the super ghost host, yeah.
Yeah.
a ghost B&B.
doomed to like live
Precisely.
with whoever is staying at this Airbnb.
Oh God, that could be some real interesting and fun characters. Hey,
Talk about a
Fold your
sitcom.
sheets this morning.
I think that is a sitcom, isn't there? That
No
ghost show.
guess.
Yeah.
We're charging you a cleaning fee.
Fucking bastards get you with that cleaning fee. So who made this one? Again, Stephen Cognetti directed and wrote this one here. Starring in I guess in cast order, in credits order. Voss Ellie is Mitchell Cavanaugh, Gillian Gertz as Jessica Fox, Joy Schatz as Molly Reynolds, Dusty Austin as David Morris, as Dustin Austin, Bryan David Tracy. Well, so
I've been
Dusty
dead for
Austin,
30 years.
Dusty Austin was once Dustin Austin.
Got it.
It was I was looking for their character to figure out their name when I was like watching the movie and looking at that character and looking at the IMDb cast. I could not find them. I'm like, did they just not get credited in this movie for some reason?
Sure.
They feel like a pretty prevalent character, but no, that's Dusty Austin. So if you're curious, who plays our cameraman, David. Bryan David Tracy is Arnold Tasselman, Kyle Engelman, Brock Davies. I think I have a feeling that's one of the big reasons Ross likes this movie is Brock Davies.
I love Brock Davies. He's
I'm just saying, I'm not saying I'm not a Brock boy, but I'm not a Brock boy. You know what
I mean,
Like,
Brock's he's fun, but there's not enough Brock, I think, and the
I
way
didn't
we
wanna-
should have him.
I didn't want to play my cards too soon. Yeah. That
Right,
was,
right.
Brock.
we need the Brock cut.
It should have been a Brock
my
Davies
God, dude.
movie.
yes, we're almost there. We're almost there.
I just want to see Brock in the medium from fucking Late Night with the Devil, just like buddy copping it, dude.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Wow.
Just
Yeah.
going around.
Sequel.
There we go.
Or
That's
prequel.
or prequel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. Amanda K. Morales as Susie McCombs. Laura, everyone else, whatever.
Yeah,
There's
that's
more
good
people.
enough.
It's fine. I mean, anything else? It's all a pretty small cast. I don't
really
No
know
one is
anybody
from
from anything.
anything else pretty prevalent here. So I think that's a good place to jump over here.
Fatality.
On a scale from 1 to 10, Psycho to the Sadness, how gory is this film? We like to do this by adding up consistency on a 1 to 5, intensity on a 1 to 5, put those scores together for a total. So my consistency, the amount of blood that is like consistency and gore in this film, I put 0.5 because you technically do see some blood and stuff. It's there. And 0.5s are lowest without being a 0.
I don't remember the blood.
I'll mention it. It is there,
Sure.
but very little amounts. And because of that, the intensity is at 0.5 with a total of 1, which still feels high. I'd say maybe at most this should probably get like a 0.5. This is not gory at all.
Not at all.
In my opinion, like,
Yeah.
No. I mean, I think you have there's like a little bit of undead gore towards the end of it, and then there's an abdomen stabbing. But anything else,
that's what I'm really including.
I think that's literally it.
There's also when they are walking to the kitchen, there's that drag mark on the floor, and they're like, "Oh, was that?"
That was the only
someone
thing I could think of.
And it clipped over to like the shot from the first movie.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
You
know what?
I'm the most blood in this movie is from a clip from the first movie.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes, right. Yeah, no, I think that's an accurate assessment. I think a 1. I mean, you could. I feel like I could probably maybe make the point of a 1.5, but I feel like a 1 is settled in nicely. You know what I mean? This movie does not bank on gore at all.
It's not what it's about for this.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a gore bank.
No.
Dustin, how do you feel?
Oh, I think it's fair to give it a 1. A total. Yeah, there's little to none. So yeah,
It's as low as
Awesome.
you can give it without
pretty
being a
much.
0, I guess.
Yeah, at that point, yeah.
Who is the horror forward?
4 questions coming at you. What kind of subgenre does it belong to? How to watch it? Is it for beginners? And should you know anything before going in? Kicking it off, found footage, hotel horror for Hotel Horror Month, brought to you by our patrons. And haunted house, I said.
Yeah. Haunted, yeah.
Completionist.
Right? Completionist. If you want to like complete the Hell House saga, you got to watch this one.
Right. I think also, I mean, a little bit of it does add this weird. It's not even. I don't even want to say who done it, but like it's more of like a mystery horror. You know what I mean? Where like there's overlying. I don't know. Investigative horror. I don't know the best way to put that. Where it's like we need to figure out something by the end of this movie. They don't really.
Isn't that all movies?
What are they trying to figure out even? What's going on
just
here?
The mystery of the hotel. I mean, it's like has this documentary like what's going on with this mystery place, like
investigative
journalism. If you're into investigative journalism,
found footage.
Yeah.
If you like the first wreck, although I guess they were
for
just
the investigative journalism aspect.
for the firehouse.
Yeah. I was trying to think of like I guess we could talk. I guess it's more appropriate for like the spoiler zone, but like the movies where like we found this and everybody's dead. That series of movies, like found footage ones, usually have that.
It's supposed to,
but not all found footage movies have that. This is almost like it's like
right, but a true found
footage
in its truest sense is that because it's footage being found after the fact of a bunch of the people are dead or missing. So I mean. Right?
Yeah,
isn't it like if you think
that
about
is exactly what found footage is. Yeah.
And then anything different from that is a variation on that original thing. So I think that's why it hits pretty much. Anyway, how do you think you should watch this one? Do you think this is something that you should be like kind of quiet and into the mood with, or like loud and schlocky? I think
loud and schlocky. Try and have some fun with it.
I mean, it warrants moments of spookiness, which I think could be fun.
And I think you could still have that.
Okay.
But, you know,
I almost want to be middle of the road where it's like, I don't think it's going to be like a house party scenario, but like your best movie buddies. So like a little bit of mystery science.
People who knew when to shut up and when to joke.
Exactly.
They read the room. Yeah.
Room readers.
Not room readers.
This is me
that
with
MTV
the
show.
This is me with the movie playing in the pitch black, man. That's how I have to watch these.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I can see it. I think you could. I think if you're watching any of these, any of the Hell Houses in particular, you could benefit from both ways with like hanging out with like a good group of like movie people or by yourself in the dark. I think it, like I said, it lends well to those moments. Is this for beginners? I'd say as how this movie is a beginner could watch it, but you don't. It's a second in a fucking series of movies. So why would you watch the second one?
Maybe the series. I would say the whole series. You could
the whole series. I think is a great intro to horror, though. I think that's a great place. Know anything about this one going in besides that it's a sequel? See the original.
Yeah, because I mean, they use a lot of context about the previous.
Really
film.
relies on you haven't seen the first one,
and if you haven't seen the first one, to get it ruined, I feel like would suck.
Totally, yes. At
that point,
and they're also laying groundwork for the third one as well through this like
big time.
Like,
I didn't realize,
and the prequel
and fourth one exactly, and the fourth one. So it's like
there's the whole Hell House
lore that starts
cinematic universe.
In this one.
Yes, this is
God damn it, dude.
The Hell House cinematic universe.
The HHCU. We're gonna open up. Eventually it's gonna get multiverse. Everything gets multiverse. HHCU LLC.
I just want to see the variants of the clown, dude. Like that's
yes.
Good. Oh my God. Or variants of give me fucking variants of Brock. That's what I want.
Oh my God. And all the Brocks hang out and meet.
Oh my God, dude.
We'll get that's our sequel. We'll save that for our sequel ideas coming up here.
Yeah.
All right, we got someone.
Chuddle the Pod 2. We'll get to it. Sorry.
Out the window. We got someone fapping away. The Mothman is popping in to give us his words of what am I trying to say there? Yeah.
Any bad stuff? I don't think there's any.
Maybe some strobing effect.
Oh sure, yeah.
Sensitive to strobing, but I don't think gore wise. No, obviously gore wise. No.
Or sensitive content wise.
Yeah, I mean, there's some blunt stuff. Talk about
classic found footage. Just
Jocelyn. Yeah, that's it.
If you've got a sensitive tum-tum, there's going to be some weeble wobbling with the cinematography that may get you off. Like, I mean, there's a little bit of blunt talk about suicide, but like, I don't think enough to constitute like a full Mothman warning.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But like
half moth. Give it a half moth.
Yeah, a half moth. It's awesome. A half wing.
Well, with that said, it's time to cut into this movie and get into the goo. Spoiler zone. So with all that, we're going to jump straight into our IMDb behind the scenes and talk. I don't have really much. There's like,
I bet there's not
5 things on there, and a bunch of them are really dumb. Like one of them, did you know the hotel's a real haunted attraction? I think you guys, I don't think I was on the original episode. I think I missed that one.
Oh, really? You missed that one?
I think I was off of it. Yes, because I gave you guys my thing to say about it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a real haunted house. The filming location is a real haunted house open to customers in the fall. So if you want to go, and they have specific, they have other nights, but they do have a Hell House like night or a couple of nights where they theme it around Hell House and what you can do there. They also have portals and themes and stuff. Hell portals and all.
There we go. There we go.
Road trip.
Chained up girls in the basement, probably.
Chained up me in the basement.
Ooh, yeah, you can get chained up. That's a photo op. That's a VIP experience photo op. There it is.
How creepy would it be? You go there and there's just a bunch of people in line as the clown.
I came on the wrong night. Producer Joe Bandelli is uncredited in this movie, but plays Brock's cameraman throughout the film. His second death as a cameraman in the trilogy. And similar to the first film, someone was needed to play the main clown. Producer Joe Bandelli donned the clown mask and the costume throughout the film, so he did a bunch of different stuff.
Okay.
Ooh.
He was the cameraman for he was Brock's cameraman.
Right. Whenever they needed a body, they put him in.
And that's pretty much it. The
rest of the time he's just clowning around.
There was only other one piece of trivia I threw into the rest of it. Sorry, go on.
I said my favorite was the last one that's on IMDb, that it tells you this is the middle part of a trilogy.
Yes, that was it. I was like, I don't think I need to include this.
That's the fucking best one, man.
It says of a proposed trilogy or something. So it was written at a time when I don't think the third one had been announced, it felt like, or something.
Yeah, a conceived trilogy.
Conceived, that's it. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, buddy.
Who picked this one? Why in our history? I picked this because it was Hotel Horror Month. And I was like, well, it's right there. The Abaddon Hotel. I mean, how could you not? And you guys had covered the first one.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, my score on it was pretty high. Yours guys's was pretty high as well. That one's pretty damn good. Like when I just think about it as a entry level, good found footage, solid horror movie, it works so well. And then
it's my favorite scary found footage movie, the first one.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense in terms of trying to really be scary. I think it does a lot of those elements super well. So I wanted to continue that journey, and I figured this would be the perfect opportunity for it. I had first seen this, I think, when I went on my first Hell House journey. So the first 3 had been out. So I went back to back, and here we are. Ross.
Yeah.
I think I saw this right when it came out, because I think it was that I was so hyped from the first one as that when the second one dropped, I was like, okay. And then I kind of did my double feature, okay, cool. It's like the second. All right, just watch the first one and then get right into the second one. I would have loved to have actually sat down one evening and waited and then watched all 3 of them, because that probably must have been a very interesting viewing experience.
It is. Sam.
Yeah.
Watched the first one for this, loved it. Like you, Brian, watched the next 2, and then when the 4th one came out, was excited for it. Watched that.
Same.
But I only watched it once until now.
Nice. All right, Dustin, what's your history with this guy?
About last year, I sat down and watched all 3 back to back right before the new one came out, and it is an experience because you can see the decline. Unfortunately, I'll save it for later, but I do have problems. But
certainly there are a plenty with it. Without saying much, I guess, did you like the Carmichael Manor, the 4th one? Because I felt that was more decent and returned to what the original was trying to be.
The first one is the best one.
Yes,
by
absolutely.
By far. Carmichael Manor was okay.
Because if I remember right, there was things that I didn't love about it, but that's for another episode. We're here for the Abaddon Hotel. Now,
the Abaddon Hotel.
Let's just fucking get into this thing. Kicks us off right away. The following footage was compiled by Russell Wynn of the Wynn Media Group, WMG. The footage was collected over a period of 2 years. The edits and narration presented are Mr. Wynn's alone and do not reflect the beliefs of WMG. So this gives us, I guess, tells us who is making it, but you quickly lose that and get lost in who is making this documentary or what we're watching.
Absolutely, yeah.
Soon
because
after
they
this.
don't introduce, because they don't actually show Wynn in this movie
at all,
at all. And then usually, when in the first one, I think even they'll kind of go back to the people that actually made the movie.
Well, and because they're interviewing. What is it, Sarah or whatever, and those are the people that are making the documentary. That's why they're interviewing her.
Right. The first
and
one
is
so
that the interview footage is like police footage. The documentarian is nowhere to be seen. This is all found footage
compiled
of other documentarians, of other types of documentarians.
Yes. And TV
it's like
show.
A documentary of a documentary. So that's just our opening credits, or not credits, text right here. Then we cut to a shot of one of the rooms in the hotel. This is just, I guess, Mr. Wynn being artsy with his fucking documentary project. Because then we go into an interview with Wendy Mallett. She is the mother of one Jackson Mallett, a young man that went missing after snooping around in the hotel on August 5th, 2016. Wendy goes on to reveal all sorts of weird shit happening after, like getting texts from Jackson that were coming from inside the hotel. They have no eyes.
Yeah, what
does this have to do with anything? This seems like it could have been a DVD extra.
Right. It's set up really weird. It's giving the impression of I do like the aspect that this hotel is not like a roach, but it's almost like a Venus flytrap.
It's like a beacon.
It lures people in and then kills them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then I do like the prelude of this.
That could have just been said. All these people were filming themselves going. No,
I think it works, but I think with everything that comes after it doesn't work. Like if you're using something like this and then quickly show another example of and you're still staying within the scope of single point, like talking to the mom narration. She tells her story, shows the footage. You talk to someone else, but instead we go so many different angles that it gets wonky and doesn't work with it. Because if you show how it's like, because if you show that as the premise of why somebody wants to go back to the hotel, it's like, oh my God, yeah, all these people seem to get sucked in. So now we need to go to investigate it. And that's your setup to bring you to the hotel. I think it works. But with what we get, it's weird.
And we get
a
first
doesn't
of
fit.
really bad acting here. The Jackson actor is
it's not great. It's not great. You really have to be hooked in on the concept of this movie.
Yeah.
Which I'm
which I'm here for the Hell House LLC world. Otherwise,
yeah, but it is one of those. I think I said it before recording, but like this movie, it's like they're learning how to act throughout the movie, because I feel like the acting's better in the at the halfway point and marginally than at the beginning, because there's a
different
few
people are Brock's
and
good.
I like
I think the main blonde actress and
Brock saves the movie.
Other guy are like good enough.
Yeah. I think the vignettes work though. Like I really dig the shotgun style of like 4 minutes of this character, the kid that was live streaming. Like we get like the sense of dread that all these people experience at different times. And then once it hard cuts to Mitchell's whole story part, dude, it's like I feel like we just spend too much time with this group of characters. Like that's just one of my
morning mysteries thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
The whole panel. Yeah. That's shortly after this. Yeah. Because it's setting. So we've set up our text that there's this dude. Okay. He's making it. So then we go into like the seemingly one-on-one interview footage. So it's like, okay. So it's like we're into there. You don't ever need to see the interviewer or hear them. That makes sense.
No.
If you stay within this world. So this shows
is also where we get the timey-wimey stuff too. Because we see like the email video of him and then like the piano that plays, and then it's like
we get all our found footage. So it's like him going in, and we within this too, I noticed in the found footage we see some hooded figures chilling that he doesn't notice this,
right? And
he says this I shouldn't have come here little confession thing. We get the cloaked figure rising up behind him, and then kind of creeps up behind him, and the footage cutting out. That's when it cuts to Wendy receiving this email from Jackson with a video file, because she's like, I didn't want to watch that original video. I was too scared, but I got this other video file in an email. So I opened that up and watched, and that is of like the hotel room. And then you hear the screams coming from somewhere else in the hotel. And that's when we get our Meow Mix piano.
I want chicken. I want
I think you guys mentioned it. If you guys don't know, but that fucking tune that plays in this whole fucking franchise is 100% the Meow Mix tune. Just
absolutely.
It's Meow Mix.
Yeah.
Dude, I love how she goes, wait a minute, I've heard that song before.
I'm like, it's on the
As she picks up her cat.
Oh yeah, right. You just see they're cooking, going, I love Meow Mix.
Corporate America worked. The jingle worked.
Shit.
Your kid's just learning to play piano and play a jingle.
But this is where we get into the timey-wimey stuff, because now we get to, was it Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or something like that?
That's what all this video's from. And she's like,
these child actors are also terrible playing this game.
Bad. They're really bad.
Really bad.
Jackson is the kid who plays Jackson when he looks to the camera and talks is like so fine enough that he seems good.
Sure. Yes. But so it's this Christmas video of all these kids playing together. Wendy had mentioned, she's like, I'd heard that song in the video before, and the kids are fucking playing their stupid game, and they're like, where's Jackson? And they hear this piano tune, and she walks around and sees him playing our fucking Meow Mix piano. And this is when she's
what
like,
does he say? In 2009, tell everyone the hotel will be open.
Who the fuck am I going to tell that to?
I like the idea of ghost ads where it's like you're like
brilliant. You travel back in time to give like a psychic mind ad to someone about your future hotel.
And I feel like
Abaddon
it's
Hotel.
weird. I feel like it's weird and it's timey-wimey, but it's almost like the first movie where, what was it? The picture of, or the photo of Alex was in a GPS, like a Google Street Map or something like that. But that fucking video was taken like 6 months before like the events of Hell House happened or some shit like that. So like they tried doing this weird like.
Well, yeah, that's the whole Domino's thing that we'll get into.
Yeah.
And they clearly started pointing that out. So what I forgot to mention is that right after Wendy mentions, I know that piano tune, is when we get our cut to the Morning Mysteries episode. And that's when Susie, it comes right there. She goes on to explain that the Mallet family has heard that tune long before. And then we cut into our Christmas night found footage. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
That's why it's timey-wimey to me. It's not the go into the Christmas part, because that's just, okay, this is back when he was a kid. I get that. But it cuts, but there's like 3 or 4 different people we see go to the Abaddon, and it's all at different times. And then there's the panel that's happening at a different time, and it's all
that's interspliced. Well, yeah, exactly.
Throughout.
Yeah.
That's
so
gets confusing
all of the vignettes happened in 2016, and this movie takes place in 2018. So that's the 2-year time frame we're looking at.
Yeah.
And then the Christmas video is from 20 years prior. That's why, like, oh my goodness, I fucking heard that 20 years ago.
Before even.
So in 1997, she has heard this tune apparently in a world where Meow Mix doesn't exist. And that's when the kid says,
she should have fucking capitalized on that, man. Like,
that's when she says,
I could use this to sell cat food.
Copyright that song down.
The hotel, that's when the kid says, so in 1997, he says the hotel opens in 2009, tell everyone. And then we get the whole like, oh, I felt like he was being like manipulated or whatever the whole time. And like we go back and enhance the audio. And because she asks like, hey, who turned out the lights?
The Abaddon Hotel.
I just imagine like those fucking crime shows where you're in like witness protection on all black,
blurred out.
Yeah,
or it's just Jigsaw hiding in the corner.
Oh my god!
It's
Abaddon Hotel.
It's hilarious. It's pretty funny.
It's kind of like, oh god damn it!
You'd like to go to a haunted house?
Yeah, would you like to play a game in a haunted house?
In 2009. Cut back. So we cut back to our host talking about the history of the hotel some more. Even creepy things happen to them while filming. And she's like, says like, while they're setting up the shot, there's like the hooded figure person that's in the frame.
Okay. So at what fucking point? Because, okay, in the first one, all of this stuff that happens in Hell House is like, you don't really, I mean, obviously by the end of it, you're seeing like hooded figures and like, hell portals and things like that. Is that like, and there's some, at what point would this be national news? As in like, would it be seeing these hooded figures up top? Would it be the missing people with like videos of them just going? Like, I feel at a certain point after the first movie, like this would be like you're actually catching ghosts on film. So at this point, like,
but people don't think it's real. They just think it's a hoax. That's the point of the panel here, discussing the fact that this documentary is like a Blair Witch Project type of thing, like
Book of Shadows,
but also kind of like
boss
using real footage or something based on this true stuff, like whatever it is, because people did die. They acknowledge that people did die in some sort of tragedy malfunction or whatever.
It was,
but it's not like, but people are like, they used it to your advantage to sell your documentary is I think the angle.
I do. Okay. I will buy that 100%.
I'm not saying it's like a great explanation. It's just
no. But the Monday morning. Okay. So after the Monday morning broadcast, where Arnold Tasselman, aka Tully, the ghost of a fucking cult leader, is on an actual news program being recorded. The guy hung himself in '89. There's a photo of him somewhere.
Seems very local access, by the way.
You're trying to tell me he doesn't look like the fucking bad guy?
he looks so ominous. Like there's all
a walking skeleton, man.
And on the news, he looks all like he's got like red splotches all over and everything.
Sir, you're transparent. Right? The green screen is showing through.
I'm sure that green screen is like, bouncing off and like really pulling out those reds.
It's just a pair of floating glasses.
And it's got to be the suit too. It's got to be the suit.
So we're in our morning mystery segment. let's go ahead and make a morning mysteries intro, and we cut to morning mysteries intro. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, how many like jarring cuts are we gonna do here to different like splices along?
Spoiler alert, a lot.
We learned this is Susie McCombs, host of this show. This show is to talk about the events of the first movie. Did what happened really happen? And we have this whole full panel to discuss, basically. Arnold Tasselman, a town official, Mitchell Kavanaugh, a surviving member of the documentary, and Brock Davies, I said an empath of sorts that helped in a missing persons case and brought him notoriety. He also has a new show to promote.
I'm just gonna say I love Brock. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah,
but if he's the Forrest Whitaker of our group for this, I was a little bummed out. You know what I mean? Like I think Forrest Whitaker
from Species,
kind of from Species,
yeah.
has. I think it's such a high bar for an empath that now anytime I see a psychic in a film, I'm like, it's not Forrest Whitaker, but I'll deal with it.
Yeah, I'll take it. But Brock Davies is fun. I mean, he's one of the most fun characters. And again,
yes.
Okay.
Charming.
So we get, there's so many cuts at this point. They have their whole thing of like arguing back and forth, you know, is it real? Is it not real? I think it's just like, you know, you're trying to sell your movies and blah, blah, blah. They're going to think Brock is
comment and question. You're a fucking asshole.
So there's some fun moments.
Why?
So
but like,
so is Mitchell? Is he a surviving member of the first crew making the
So Mitchell,
he's like their
Mitchell
editor of sorts or something.
He was like the one interviewing Sarah, right?
Yes, and then he was doing a lot of the editing stuff and trying to get the Hell House documentary finished while what was it, Deborah and the cameraman go to the Abaddon and was doing the other stuff. So like,
but he's not in the first movie.
Right.
He's not,
air quotes survivor.
I
is
still
not
have
a great title.
I still have something that will come up later. I'm going to point out. So okay.
And in this one, he is the person. Presumably Hell House LLC that we watched exists in this universe and he made it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's also our expert, man, because he's edited so much footage about the hotel that he knows it forwards and backwards.
Well, definitely from the back way in and out.
Only the back way, and that's the only way he knows.
That's what he did say.
This man is huge into rear entry.
Hey,
there it is.
You said it.
Hey.
Okay, so
exit
after
only,
this,
please.
I'll break the door down if I have to.
After we get this little panel discussion here, we cut to another crew of people watching this panel happen on TV.
Wait,
this is the Brooklyn office of theinside.com. And these ladies want to get a hold of Mitchell because he can get them into the hotel for some story they're going to do. And the morning mystery show goes on and the panel argues about the opening night. Okay. So yeah.
When you have two characters with crossed arms, like doing this, like,
oh my God,
it's so artificial and it's so bad. And like, I say this a lot. I love trauma movies and I love low budget, not acted correctly films. You know what I mean? If the plot, if the plot is concrete enough, my suspenders of disbelief when it comes to certain parts of acting and things like that can be kind of odd. This scene alone almost made me turn off the movie my first watch. When I first started, I was like, oh no, oh shit. Like, I could deal with like the crazy throw 15 documentaries into a blender and then do hard cuts. Like, up to that point, I was like, okay, this is weird. All right. And then I got this scene. I was like, oh,
well,
okay.
To be honest, I feel like I think the acting in the first movie is pretty good for what it is.
Me too.
Yes.
But I feel like when we get some of those return actors, they're not as good.
No.
Like everything.
I can't stress
two of them sit still and they still don't do good.
Okay, there is something about that. Okay, there is something about that scene though that was flabbergasting to me, and my wife pointed it out after the second viewing of it. Obviously, we'll get there, but yeah, no, I agree. I think it's Hell House. The first one is lightning in a bottle, and it's very hard to recapture that. Like, I love the atmosphere. I love this universe. Don't get me wrong. But like, there's certain parts of this where it's like, oh, you really like this thing? So we're going to do like 10 times more of this stuff. And he goes, you guys really like those crazy hooded characters? They're going to pop out of every fucking corner of every single fucking vignette that we've got in this thing.
Tim?
I like the blonde actress in this scene. I don't think she is doing a bad job. Molly, the dark-haired actress,
Is problematic.
throughout the film, except for maybe like once, is almost so bad it's difficult to watch. Like, I feel bad for her.
Yeah, she's like the character that you hope gets got real quick so you don't have to deal with her for the rest of the movie.
Yes.
After
That's
this
all.
happens, we go outside of the Abaddon. We learn about another kid that snuck in and went missing, and we get to see that footage now.
Yes.
As he
Now,
walks up to the
this-
door himself, there's a hooded figure as he walks in. Good creepy elements here. So like really fun stuff, but I feel like
Yeah. I got the EBGBs huge from this scene, as in like having this high school kid live streaming this thing and then walking in, and then like, I will give credit where credit's due, where the fact that the Hell House franchise has a really great, it's just ominous. And when they have these shots and scenes like this, it just gets McCockles, man.
It's good at scares.
Yes.
They're good at scares. They're good at taking it. They're unexpected. It's taking normal things and doing things just something slightly different with it to make it scary. Like just the feet
Totally.
that you see, like the bottom half standing at the stairs, and
God.
it just
And it
stays
just-
on that shot. There's something about that that's just
so off.
I think it has. I also think it has everything to do with like how the hallways are angled and the stairs. You know, we don't get to see
yeah.
a whole lot of anything. We see enough for them to be like, okay, I know there's a fucking person standing right there, but I can't see all of them.
right.
So that's what
Precisely.
I love about that.
It plays on the benefits of found footage that gives you.
Totally. And just the concept of sorry, Brian, go ahead.
I was just going to say, they're also good at hiding elements within the frames that are
Yes.
there one moment and not there the next. Because even in this one here, it's very quickly like in like one of the dark back areas, there is just a hooded figure standing there for a brief second as he like moves the camera around and comes back.
yeah,
It's
and then
not
it's
there
gone.
type of, and then it's gone.
Yes.
All of those play really, really well of like tricking you. And did you just see that?
Did you
type
see
of
that?
thing,
Right.
which they again, kudos to this series for doing that well.
And this, I think this movie and the series as well, it's like it's almost like countdown to the jump scare, and especially the fact where like the smaller ones, like in a found footage film that's full length, right? Everybody's either missing or dead. So usually by the end is kind of the crescendo. But when you have all these small ones, like you're waiting for that jump scare because this person didn't survive, and it's a snippet of the rest of the film. So every time you're like, here's this thing from this one live stream of this, and you're like, oh fuck, oh god damn it, because like from Jump Street, I'm waiting for the jump scare or the ominous thing.
You know something's gonna happen right away.
Right away. And so like it just primes you the whole movie that like, oh shit, something bad's gonna happen like the entire time. And I love this one because it's like what Brian, like having this as a live stream, and then when they say that like the camera, what does the kid say? He goes, I'm sorry, I'll leave now.
Well, so this happens here. So he gets into the house, he rounds a corner, and we just see the bottom part of we see the stairs and the bottom part of a person just standing there, a whole person presumably, but all we can see are
pair of legs.
a pair of legs and like the tips of their hands. And the cameraman, he just goes, sorry, I'll go now. And then just stands there, and you just keep on that footage. And then they proceed to stand there all night, and we're told until the battery goes dead.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
then that
just
weird sound of like the camera going out, and then like the running of feet towards the audio was just like, oh god. But then also the concept of just just a recording and floating of someone's lower torso, like legs and feet for fucking hours.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
It definitely built the tension. Like that scene alone definitely built that shit up.
Yes.
But unfortunately, right back after this, we snap back to morning mysteries as they continue to argue about the hotel and if the incident was a hoax. This eventually leads to the mention of Andrew Tully and how it all ties back to him. And Tully performed these satanic rituals in the basement. He was accused of being involved with some guest disappearances and had this like whole satanic cult thing going on. now we start the Inside.com crew documentary footage with Jessica Fox and Molly Reynolds.
Okay.
This is where Jessica, Molly, and Mitchell are hanging out, and Jessica is explaining who they are, I guess, because
this is us.
Yeah, like so what are you guys? Are you like a 60 Minutes type of thing? Like, this was fucking
you
ridiculous.
never heard of us?
Give us some exposition. I need some exposition.
Yes.
This is when we get this is when they shoehorn in we film everything.
Yeah.
Even like if I go take a piss, it's coming with me and I'm filming it or whatever the fuck the guy says. Like everything. This camera never stops. And it seems like at this point, I seem to have only ascertained that they're making a documentary about Tully and want proof, which would be in the basement. So they need to go into the basement. And Jessica learned of this from some testimony that she was mailed from an old cult member, Patrick Carmichael, because he gave a testimony because he got arrested for different
assault or
something on the night
abuse
of the suicide party. So he missed the suicide party. So the cops
because he was in jail.
Have a testimony of the Tully and the shit. And that's what was mailed to Jessica to get her to want to go to the basement. Domino's, baby.
Thank you for explaining that to me. Because
well, that's also the shoehorn for the fucking prequel.
Yes.
That's your prequel. Yeah.
That's your prequel, like a little keynote. And then but what's also, I don't know. Again, like I like the atmosphere. I love the universe. So like my suspenders of disbelief are a little more like staple gun than usual, but it's really funny where it's like, even the characters in the movie are going like, so there's another fridge and you don't think the cops searched all the fridges, so we should just go to that fridge. And even the guy's like, that's fucking dumb. Like, why? Like,
and then it cuts over to footage of the first crew from the first movie going into that fucking freezer.
Yes.
And not seeing what
and
they're looking for.
Any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
It's just in the corner. It says Andrew Tully's cult stuff. Don't touch.
Don't open till Christmas. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Big trap catches big rats.
But they're eventually able to convince Mitchell to escort them to the hotel. He's like, all right, I think they mention Diane.
I know.
Which,
see, that's what's weird.
Yeah.
We know what happened to Diane, so you should let us.
Well, that hasn't been played for him yet. I don't think that.
Okay.
Bit of information, whether that is actually Jessica being manipulative or the hotel saying something, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But they still are like
to Diane.
Right. But they're still trying to imply to her like
turning a fucking record. Just
it's a fucking Beatles album backwards. We know what happened, Diane. I know that one, right? It's on.
Yeah.
You play Yellow Submarine backwards. But I think they try to convince him that like by going back, you'll get your answers. There's definitely something there, whether they know or not answers to it. So they've convinced him. Cut back to Morning Mysteries. We show some additional footage of weird shit that has happened since the documentary 2 years ago. Footage of a kid sneaking near the house, and he hears and sees some freaky stuff and runs out. And then we cut to some guys in a car talking about this fashion show that they went to. That was actually bullshit. Just like,
this is fucking bullshit.
This is my favorite vignette though. Like of all of them, this is I feel like this is the best one.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, because I think what's amazing about Hell House is that in a lot of respects, and I think I talked about it in We Are Still Here, is that the idea of you expect the ghosts to stay in the house or stay in the hotel. And what's amazing about this universe is that the Legion, we are Legion. Mm-hmm. The Legion can actually like get out of the actual hotel and can draw people in. And that's horrifying. Like I like the idea of like, because I don't know,
because that's what's so great about the first one. The twists that are, I'm sorry, you should have seen the first one by now and know everything if you're listening to this. Yeah. The twist of the person that they're interviewing has actually been dead and part of the house drawing them in is fantastic. Yes. And that's, like you said, a wonderful aspect of this world of the tentacles and the fingers that the hotel can put out into the world and draw people in. But
and I
this
like
one
the
just-
echo of that, where it's like this girl originally in the first film hitchhiked to Hell House and is now as a ghost trying to like lure people in as a hitchhiker.
That's how I viewed her, was an echo. Like that was the traumatic experience that she experienced. So
True.
that's all she's replaying is getting picked up, going to the
Getting
Abaddon.
dropped
people
off.
in.
Yeah.
the house
That's
is probably
what
able to use her that way. I don't know.
exactly.
It does
Yeah,
sound like how-
manipulate.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And pull people in because that's what exactly she does. She's just on the side of the road. These dudes pick her up, and then they're like, "Where are you going?" And she's like, "The Abaddon Hotel." And they're like, "That place has been closed. When did you?" She's like, "I've already been checked in since October 8th." And they're like, "It's September 30th. This is weird, but let's just take them there."
Sweetie.
It's
This
so
guy is
funny
not
when they
bad.
drop.
The
What's that?
guy that
Oh yeah,
the
no.
guy who's driving that
And Dustin was
the
mentioning this
camera
is one
is
of his favorite vignettes of like the different people
Yeah.
going in here and stuff too. I think they're great characters in it, and she's creepy as fuck because she gets in the car and does all this stuff. I love when they pull up to the hotel. They're like, "This place seems weird," and she like bolts out of the car and just like runs inside.
Yes.
Like,
And
Dude.
I love this continuous thing of just catching like a flash of her turning corners
Yeah.
the entire time. It's just like, oh no, shit. And then like, oh god damn it.
so much
no.
fun. Such
Yeah,
a good creepy
just
elements
enough
again.
direction to follow. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
We see
Yeah,
the
but
tail end.
But what I like a lot about the vignettes, and it's just because of like the dawn and age we're in, so we don't have to fucking hold camcorders now. Like a lot of these people are blogging on their phones. That's where a lot of I dig that a lot. You know, like it's not just
Yes.
right.
Scared the shit
Everybody
out of you.
can film.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, you can easily get that the screen life aspect to it, which is
Although
great.
I don't think I would have followed her into the basement.
No, I
think
would not
that
I
was-
follow
would
her
have
into the
followed her into
house.
the I would not even have gotten out of my car.
All right, she was
Cool,
crazy
she-
in my
she's
car.
checked in?
She's out of my car.
Out.
I'm done. I'm gonna call the cops or something and like let them know.
Yeah.
Right. If
Maybe
I'm that
there's-
concerned, there's
I
a
probably
lady
wouldn't
who
even-
needs some sort of help.
Yeah.
Do you
I wouldn't call the
think
cops
they would have
maybe.
known about what had happened prior?
At the Abaddon
Like,
Hotel.
like we were talking about a little bit
The
earlier,
cops
where it's
or-
like no the kids driving.
Maybe because
Oh, the lore of the hotel? Well,
Closed.
Yeah.
I don't know, but they also seem to be out of towners, like in this.
Right.
Seem,
So then why did they know
Oh,
it was closed?
that's true. Yeah, they said they
so I
were
don't think they
traveling.
know
Okay.
the legend
Mhm.
of the hotel.
Of the
So-
skunk ape.
If you don't know the legend,
Who lives in
listen
the
to
basement?
episode 25. We
Fucking
do. I
basement.
forget on that episode while we cover what's the Bigfoot movie?
Oh, Night of the Demon.
Ochop.
Night of the Demon.
Yeah.
I do don't I talk about the skunk ape on that one? I thought I did.
We do
Yes,
the
you do.
Ochoppy skunk ape on there.
Yeah, shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Skunk
it's
ape.
Good old Dave Sheely.
Dave Sheely. Oh my god, love that guy. Shout out.
Go to the Abaddon Hotel.
Go to the
Oh
Abaddon.
yeah, go to the Abaddon Hotel.
Skunk ape research headquarters.
Yes.
Love it. So she leads them into the basement, and once it's down there, they now see the lady's a dead lady. Oh, and they run
Oh.
away. And
I got fucking got the first time that I watched this.
Really?
Like I was like popcorn, like straight up, because like something bad's gonna happen. No,
let's all
it's-
point off
I-
at Ross.
but it's weird. Like not jump scare got in the fact where I was like
Mhm.
fucking and pissed about it. Like I literally like popcorn up in the air and
Oh my
then
God.
laughed hysterically. Where I was like,
Yeah,
I
of course.
got so fucking good. That was
I
so
love
good. I
it.
also love the
Me too.
fucking the makeup on this particularly her
Mhm.
for what just the I don't know, the first time seeing it, it's just those dead ass eyes with the weird ass contacts and stuff like that.
It's
It remi-
fine, but I don't think it's strong.
It
It
I think-
works in a dark setting for sure.
yes, and I think like first viewing I was like, man, this is creepy, and by the third viewing I've seen this movie I'm like, man, they could have done some stuff because it's almost like a notch down from like the ghouls.
Well, you definitely get a close up of seeing it, of what it is. At this point,
yes.
they say that there's text of the 15 people that died in the Hell House tragedy. 7 bodies were never recovered. Among those 7 was 18-year-old Savannah Collins. It's rumored that she hitchhiked to Hell House's opening night. And they show this side-by-side photo of like her with like a still of dead girl version. So you get a real
What the
close up.
Totally.
Fuck is
What?
So 15 people that died in the Abaddon Hotel, is that what it is? Or on the night
The Hell
of
House
the...
tragedy.
So how 7 of them are missing?
No, 15 died and then 7 are missing.
Seven.
And then an additional 7 are missing.
7 bodies were never recovered. Yes, among those
Hell
was
portal.
this person.
Hell portal.
Yes.
I look at this makeup now and it reminds me of the subterranean like ghouls in House of Thousand Corpses, but done Evil Dead #1 style, where it's like if I just had oatmeal and mascara and a few other things to slop onto someone, but I had a reference photo of those ghouls from House of Thousand Corpses. I feel like that's what this ghost kind of looks like.
Gotcha. So that happens. Great. We fade to black and then we get to Jessica, Molly, Mitchell, and David, who's our cameraman. They're hanging out at this bar, restaurant, drinking, having a good time. Jessica and Mitchell are talking at one point. She reveals that this case is super interesting to her, and that's why she's doing her story on it. It's said that they previously broke this story on some like state senators that got sent to jail, so that's what their big deal fucking thing is. She really wants to know what Mitchell thinks happened with Sarah Havel. Did they really interview a dead girl? Do you think you were really talking to some dead person? He kind of dismisses it. He's like, yeah.
He said he'll tell her off camera.
Right. Off camera. Look at them dancing.
Bruce Willis and we'll talk.
Right.
Precisely. And then we also learned Brock Davies is coming along at this point. So we get the return of the Brock in a moment. Mitchell expresses
down.
And Cheetos.
Mitchell expresses his concerns as the hotel is dangerous. They need to be in and out real quick, basically. This takes us to Sunday, October 8th.
Heard that.
The crew head into the hotel, eventually making their way through some like fucking cornfields to the back of it. And they decide that Molly is kind of like freaked out a bit. So she could stay outside, watch for cops or anything. Great. Cool.
Again, wonderful performance.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like regular haunted houses, let alone ones that have been abandoned for 6 years.
It's like, oh no.
Just go back to the fucking bar.
It's like, let's leave her outside. There's no camera out there, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. You see the producer run in with the long brown wig because he's already wearing 4 other hats in this movie.
Exactly.
Precisely. We get some other footage spliced in between them walking through the cornfield of Mitchell telling them, if I say run, we run, we get the hell out of there. They approach the back door just as they're about to open it up. Well, they do open it up. It opens pretty easily. Brock appears with his cameraman, Malcolm.
Oh, hey, I knew you'd be here.
The hotel wants us and it wants to tell its story.
Brock House LLC, baby.
Yes.
I love him. He's so smarmy. So this character is like a TV psychic, but he's like clearly a ripoff, but the audience knows that. Like we know that watching it, and he's just such a like con man that he's got a charm to him. I feel like we haven't described what the character is that we love so much, so that's why I was tossing that out there.
Oh, totally.
The skeptic from Late Night with the Devil reminds me a lot of fucking Brock, dude. Like just how arrogant he sounds, and when he tries to command the room, nobody pays attention to him.
Yes.
I love Brock, man. Like I love that fake ass skeptic shit, dude.
Yes.
Well, he's not a skeptic though. He's like
no. Like the attitude that he carries.
Yeah, it's almost like the opposite pendulum swing, where it's like how Late Night with the Devil's character was like out to debunk shit in a really snotty way. This guy's like, no, I'm going to talk these ghosts because I'm the only one that can do it. Because I'm the fucking paranormal researcher.
My name's Brock, and it rhymes with cuck.
Exactly. Let's Ouija this.
So they head inside, and this is where we get our cut to Jessica, beat up, bloody nose, not looking too good. So another fucking random cut to a different point in time. Mm-hmm. So we've had so many different cuts to so many different places. We have we're gonna have Brock's camera crew, so that's one documentary crew. We have the Insider crew, that's that crew, and then we have the cuts to the morning mysteries. But this is all being told through the lens of the Win Media crew.
Right. And I
So there's
and I totally understand like the idea of like obviously the pretense of found footage is that, you know what I mean, like everybody dies or fucking disappears or whatever.
Yep.
And then somebody finds it. But at least with this, it's like, but what's great about the Hell House series is that like now they're literally about to enter and then they cut scene to just her bloody and fucked up outside of the hotel, which is like, oh, so now I know every single person that's going to die except for her. You know what I mean? So now you're just sitting there going like, oh no. Okay.
I didn't like it.
Well, I mean, we knew they were all going to die anyway. They just gave away who the survivor was.
I think this is pointless. She was found walking alongside the road. Like we learned.
This is just repeat. Essentially, it's all just to repeat something that happened in the first one.
Yeah, she can't read. It does. We don't even like really. I don't feel like we learn anything that's beneficial. That's fun. Like I'm glad it worked for you, Ross, but I don't feel like it worked for me because I don't know. We just learned that she was found walking on the road by herself. Can't remember how or why she got there, and it's been 5 days. Yeah, maybe she starts to remember something because she just starts like screaming and freaking out. And then we just cut back to the hotel. So it's such a quick like little thing too. That's like okay,
never mind. Let's go back.
We'll get back to that. Now let's show you what the horror
we'll put that
is.
in for Ross. Let's go back.
I'm like, I already know horror is going to happen. I know bad things are going to happen. You don't have to keep enticing me with bad things. Get me to the bad things. Get me in the hotel with our main crew, whoever that is.
Well, presumably this is our main crew.
So in there, but we start with an editor's note. The following footage is highly disturbing and completely unexplainable.
Okay. The first time watching that made me fucking laugh out loud. Where I'm sitting there going like, now this is where the fucking warning goes in.
Why wouldn't you have that at the very beginning of the movie?
Right.
I just like it because
the Stephen Wynn, is that his name?
Yeah.
Really doesn't know how to put together a coherent storyline with his found footage.
No, not at all.
I just do
we do learn who it is at the end of the movie, and he's just like some tech entrepreneur. So yeah, it's like his passion project. Like he learned how to use iMovie.
You know, now that I look at it that way, that it's this character that made this, it gives it a whole new depth. It makes sense that it comes off this way.
That's so bad.
But it's just weird too, where it's like this whole cutscene where it just goes like, hey guys, this is gonna get really weird, and then it's just like, all right, go ahead. And I'm like, it's already unexplainable. It's already
right. It's like it's two moments of that. You have the cut to the character bloody beating up, say like essentially alluding to something terrible is about to happen, and then we get the editor's note that something terrible is about to happen, and then we get into it. The two teams split up, Brock going to the dining room, the others going down to the basement. And now we just walk around the creepy hotel. There's going to be lots of moments of them just walking through, which are great moments, but not much is really happening during a lot of them as well, where they're just kind of walking through. We see Est aparte porta written on the wall. That's Latin for the door is open.
It says the harbinger of doom is right here.
Yeah, right there.
I brought it back. I was like, could we pull this for a drop? I was like, no, it's not clean enough. Somebody starts talking over it.
Sure. And this is where we see our blood stain, where people have died, pulled off and all that.
That schmear.
Get a nice schmear.
Big smile.
Was that? Yep.
Yeah.
So there's a cut to some blood and gore, maybe. Brock
From
is
the
now
first
walking. Yeah. Walking around, working his way to the dining room. They find it.
I love this.
So this is some of those good moments that they do. So like there's a lot of panning around the room. He's panning back while Brock's talking, explaining everything. There's all these like dummy mannequin bloody things
props.
left over, props sitting at these dining tables. And then we slowly cut back to they're like, oh shit, were those there before? And there's these two nooses.
Fucking nooses.
And I love how the camera's kind of like aimed down like this, looking around the room to not show the roof of the fucking room.
Yes.
The ceiling, dude. Yeah,
it's at least at that I would have immediately like noped out, because of like if you're in a room and then you like are looking around and you look back up and two nooses, if there's two people in the room,
that's certainly a good point.
Drop.
Yes,
you're not Brock Brock probably saw those and was like, yeah.
Oh yeah,
dude. But have you guys seen Holliston, like the Adam Green show?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, when Ray Wise goes, no, he tripped and slipped and fell into a noose. And there's just a fucking noose hanging in the middle of the room. That's all I could think about with that shit, dude.
I would just be like, nope, I can't. No.
Yeah,
you know
sorry.
what? I'm going to be furthest away from the news.
Brock? Fuck. All right.
All right, let's pull out this Ouija board.
Yeah, well,
No Ouija board.
no
Just
Ouija
a Y
board.
and an N.
Just a planchette. He pulls that out and decides to sit at a table, and he's going to start talking to the room. Time to get to work. Cut back to the other crew. They find the basement and they send David down first, and we get our first look at our clown friends hanging out, sitting there. Old Clowny's back around, chilling.
Yeah, they back.
Okay. So I'm going to get to what I was getting to earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Mitchell is the expert because he edited so much shit about this movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
That clown shows up a lot in that first movie.
Mm.
In some very freaky ways.
You don't think he's cool about the shit. He's like, just don't fucking look at him. Don't
Yeah,
mind
that's right.
him. Don't look, guys. But he's seeing this clown just being like the menacing presence it is, and with all the footage he cut. He's like,
He edited that's
you
very
know what
true.
I mean? I'm just like,
This is like a genuine thing, that you've seen be spooky in this footage that you've I get
and you're
it.
like, guys, don't fucking worry about it, dude. It's nothing. I've seen him before.
If you see it move, we should leave. But
well, you won't see it move.
Or we should just leave while the door's fucking open now and not have to worry about that clown.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Wild,
exactly.
man.
He's just like, whatever. Here's your refrigerator. Let's get in there and start looking around at our boxes full of shit.
Back to
Let's
time
start
yet?
looking.
Open.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
We can open them now, guys. He starts communicating with the spirits using the planchette, and as a table as this homemade spirit board. They chose this room because this is where Tully and the cult members committed suicide. The camera keeps having these pan around moments where it keeps looking back throughout the room, and there's these kind of creepy mannequins that are all just sitting there. Brock goes on to ask Andrew Tully, are you with me now? Planchette moved itself to no. So then at this point,
did it move itself to no? I thought it was.
yes,
Yeah,
it moves itself.
It moved itself
Yeah.
to no.
I missed that.
Brock is so, I guess he's experienced actual paranormal stuff before, because this does not concern him or the cameraman that much, that they just saw a
That
thing.
he's
a
not
ghost
just
guy.
an
He
act at
I
that
know,
point, you know?
But I guess,
Yeah.
it's
Well, I guess presumably for the character, it would have been, because he seems like such a fake, that it would have been
That he
nice
would've-
for the character to have been kind of thrown and have to get back into it and be like, oh,
It's-
okay. You know what I mean?
It's obviously different kind of found footage stuff. It's the difference between I like Brock. It is because Brock's character doesn't break the psychic bit while this is going on, in comparison to say Grave Encounters, where you have the fake ass psychic dude. When the second something real happens, he breaks character and loses his shit.
Yeah.
It's what
he
I do
doesn't
like
seem
about
to break
Brock.
character, because I don't feel like he's putting on a character.
I don't think he's a character.
Not.
I think that's,
he's
yeah.
genuinely. I think he genuinely thinks he's a psychic and genuinely is trying to communicate with these spirits.
So
But
he's
we do
doing
know
this
he
whole
doesn't
thing.
like dad jokes. He hates dad jokes.
Hates dad jokes.
He also asks, are we talking to a member of the cult, the Hell House crew, anyone that's gone missing? It still just sits at no. The camera pans again. This time, one of the dummies has their head towards the camera. I don't know if you noticed that. That's a real, again, creepy moment where something's changed. But the cameraman and Brock, they don't notice anything's changed yet.
No.
So that's dope. He then asks if the spirit has anything to do with anyone that has disappeared. The planchette moves to yes. He continues to ask if the spirit intends to do harm to anyone in the hotel, and it remains on yes. Brock looks up, and we see the creepy girl standing there now. And he's like, okay, we're leaving. We're leaving. I'm sorry. We're just going to get out of here.
Yeah.
And that
We're
doesn't
just
work.
gonna go.
They start to
He's just-
run and cut.
They turn to leave. She has blocked their path. Camera glitches out, stuck on this creepy image. Editor's note. The Wind Media Group has not verified the identity of this and other anomalies found on the recorded video. Brock Davies and Malcolm Fletcher remain missing to this day. So
It's
We're done with
interesting.
Brock.
Yeah, it's interesting when there's corpses in the hotel versus missing. I'm curious on how they distinguish which ones to keep and then which ones they just toss out.
Guests.
They're all guests permanently.
I don't know.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
yeah.
What? Yeah. Who is, what is, why this? So back to the crew in the fridge. They're looking through boxes of documents. After some time, David's able to find some tapes. Yay. But we also get a little creepy clown walk by in the background. And now this is one of my big problems with this movie is seeing the clown move so much. I loved so much in the first one where it was back and forth and it had moved like a weeping angel situation where it's like it's moving when you're not seeing it is so much more creepy to me than to see it move. It takes
it seemed inanimate in the first one, like it was like not a real thing.
But it was there and then doing like something, and that was so much more creepy to me as opposed to all these moments that we get, and especially with Dead Girl coming back later and her moments there, this movie feels a lot more like now I'm just walking through a haunted house. Oh, there's the scary and not.
It really is where it's like they rely on like similar looking props and then the actual actor playing the ghost or like things walking by, when in the first one it's like the person in the robe was in the actual shot the entire time and then they move, or like you're saying, look at the clown where it's like you look at it and then they pan away and they look back and like it's now moved.
It's just turned its head or something. Yeah.
A lot of the scare bits in this film are like walk pasts or like they emerge out of something or, you know what I mean? Where it's like, I do like the idea of like playing with the first one was just great with the fact we're like, oh my God, this guy in a hood was literally in the shot the whole time and I had no fucking idea. And this one is more of like peekaboos where it's just kind of like, hey, just want to let you know I'm here. Let me go back.
So while we're still down in the fridge, Molly comes through on the walkie-talkie saying that she's here. Where are you guys? I'm at the main entranceway. What's going on? And they're like, what? Why the hell's Molly here? She shouldn't be here. David, go up and go find out what's going on. So he leaves to meet up with her and does. And she's just like, what are you doing inside? And he's like, what are you talking about? You told me to come inside. And he's like, no, we didn't say shit. So Molly's reasonably upset by all this. David radios back down, says weird shit's happening. Mitchell asks what door she came in. Is it locked? He's like, okay, let me check. It's still locked. No, we can't get out. He's like, all right, we're coming back up. He's like, box everything up. We got to get the fuck out of here. Whatever. We're leaving now. And they kind of remember Brock. They're like, let's go check him. All right. So Mitchell's like, we can go through the dining room. That will lead us through and we'll be able to like check him, then get our way out. They make it to the dining room. They find Brock and Malcolm. They're just hanging around.
But I love like the tension that's built right here too, because like we're maneuvering through this really tight hallway and the blonde actress just like makes her way in there, like creaks the door open just enough to where we don't see what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, fucking Mitchell needs to open the door the whole way just to fucking look and see, you know, Brock hanging there.
She reacts, turns, mouth covered. We're like, oh,
so
what is
gassed.
it in there?
So good.
Yeah. Beautiful tension building skills, Mr. Cognetti.
Or Stephen Wynn.
So, or I mean, yeah, I guess, Stephen Wynn's putting this movie together, so he knows how it's the pacing.
But I guess Cognetti made it happen. The moment.
So they run out of there and they make it to the door, and this is where we get our old clown friend chilling by the open door, just like propped against it. That's a fun moment when it's just kind of sitting there like and creepy. And Mitchell's like, it's just a prop. It can't move. It can't hurt us. We just got to keep moving forward and get there. So they kind of like creep their way along. And then the clown does this little like head turn and like arm drop, which
now
at that point I would have run for the door, not run back into the hotel. I would have just tried to get past him.
Would you guys try to fight the clown? Because I would.
I tried to, bum rush that direction where there's an opening.
Absolutely.
Push him over, you know? I mean, push him down the stairs. Shit.
Use him to hold the door open.
I
push
also
him into the door
also
when
feel,
it slams. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Yes.
It just hit him.
I also feel that if they hadn't have done the clown gag in the basement, him actually moving on camera would have been way more of a gut punch, because he doesn't move. Like you said, he doesn't move in the first one. So like having Clown Town like in the basement behind you.
I'm not gonna lie, maybe it's only because I'm only paying so much attention, but I missed the clown in the background the first time.
Oh, it's easy to miss.
Both times I had it on.
Easy enough to miss.
Yeah.
Like it's a dark background with a dark character that kind of passes through it. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of hooded figures in moments that you don't see or you miss or anything like that. They're hanging out. So door slams shut ultimately, and they're not able to escape. So they run, trying to figure out where to go. They get to one area where they're going to try to open the door. They try to break it down. They're not able to do that. They hear some creaking or something, and they're like, oh my God, something's coming. So they decide to run upstairs. We never see or really what they're so afraid of.
But they run in a direction that they think is upstairs, with the expert of the house with them leading the way.
Yes.
He's like, I think this way, and they're fucking Scooby-Doo running through doors. And,
Yes.
And I like that they give what the illusion, like, because they bring it up in the beginning of the movie. It's like Tully built the house just like the H.H. Holmes murder mansion. And like, so you're not supposed to know which way is which when you're trying to run out of it, where I'm like,
When you wake up in the middle of the night to get a drink of milk, you won't know how to get back to bed.
You're going to fucking die.
Stub your toe. Yeah.
So they creep up. They make their way up there, and then they start going through this other part of the old haunted house. It's like this creepy like mannequins and stuff all in these cages, and that's where
that was a cool area.
Yeah. Then there's like a little strobing going on, and that's when this dead girl appears again. She looks like she's just a mannequin, but then she like blinks and like, oh fuck, and then she starts walking and coming. I'm at this part as I just feel like I'm in a haunted house right now, and like the worst way.
Do ghosts need to blink?
I mean, I don't know. Yeah. For scare effect, maybe it's all just it's all scare tactics.
You see the fucking ghost is like flip her hair.
That'd be fun. I'm not maybe it's the makeup then that doesn't lend well to what this creature is coming at me. I feel like it's just too haunted housey and not maybe I guess real enough to make it scary. I think it could be. It just wasn't there. Which
I think is kind of funny because obviously the first film is about a haunted house and then like supernatural things happening. And in this one, it's the remnants of and I got more haunted house vibes from this one than the movie about an actual haunted
That's certainly
house.
How I felt at moments.
What's a sequel? You got to go bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to go more haunted house.
You got to do it. So they run off and they ultimately barricade themselves in one of the rooms. Cut to Morning Mysteries panel again. They're talking with
goddamn Morning Mysteries.
Again, they're talking about Alex Taylor. So that's our original guy that set up Hell House LLC, who put the LLC in Hell House. And he,
that's
right. There you go.
I guess Brock believes that the house was drawing him towards it, and Mitchell believes that Alex was contacted by the hotel. Hotel and house is so interchangeable. I keep using it. But it's essentially the same place.
The Abaddon Hotel.
The Abaddon Hotel.
The Abaddon Hotel.
Back at the hotel, Mitchell's trying to figure out how Jessica got the transcript, and that ultimately leads them, or how she got the transcript that ultimately led them to being where they are now. So he once again believes that the hotel's doing all this. He's like, it must have sent it to you and to get to me.
It's
all that domino thing. They mentioned dominoes beforehand as well at one point and stuff, and we're going to hear more about dominoes at the end of the movie too.
They were
the pizza.
I was going to say they were eating Domino's pizza while talking about the dominoes.
It was just so much.
Like, what can we do to make this feel like it
dominoes.
Has a domino effect?
They asked what their favorite X-Men was, and someone said
Domino. Now they're trying to think of ways to get out, and I think it's Jessica who suggests, hey, let's try the walkie-talkie, use a different channel. Someone responds, but it's just someone being creepy. It's not a real response. And
yeah. Cool, and this is also the new bit of like,
you should stay in the house.
It's always now from this point on to a bunch of things. It's someone talking normal for one sentence, and then it goes like, yeah. So
into demon voice.
The exit is in the basement.
Yes.
Oh God. While this is happening, David, he's been going through some old tapes they found in the basement and finds something on one of them. It's Alex meeting with some mystery person 6 months before the tragedy
Shit,
at the
you're
hotel.
not gonna believe this.
Oh, it's like, I like
this.
Oh, shit. Well, I like the fact he goes, I looked through these old tapes and then I saw these new tapes. So these are the new tapes that are old. Check this out.
Well, he was basically saying,
One of these shiny mini DV tapes.
Yeah.
Exactly. One of those beautiful, shiny mini DVs. It's like, I can play that in my camera. So that's why he watched it. And then we get this stupid meeting footage of Alex talking to some mystery figure off camera.
A pair of hands.
Yes.
Yep. We've already seen a pair of legs.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be There's got to be a pair of person somewhere.
Let's start connecting the people. Let's get the hands in there. Maybe we'll see just a torso next.
Alex lost a bunch of money on a deal with this guy that he's meeting.
It sounds like it at one point, but then it doesn't.
Yeah. I think you're supposed to, he took investment advice from this guy and invested all of the money of Hell House into this, and it went tits up. And
into something, that went tits up.
And then he goes
into his attraction from New York that he had a lawsuit against him from in the first movie.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
And he was like, well, if you want a cheap venue, you should just have it here at the hotel.
I got
and
this.
Where?
At
the Abaddon.
At the Abaddon Hotel.
So he just offers this hotel up on a platter. He's like, this place is shit, but I guess it'll make a great haunted house. Cool. Back to the hotel room. Molly asks if they're all going to die here. Jessica reassures her. And then we cut up to beat up Jessica again at the police station, being like, there was so much blood. His blood. Her blood.
Whose blood?
My blood. Whose blood? Why's blood?
What blood?
Why blood? Blood cupcakes. They laughed and laughed and laughed. And then she goes kind of almost blank and asks, do you know in the Bible they call it the lake of fire? Back to the hotel room.
It's like, God damn it.
It's like, God damn it. If you're setting up for something else, like, I don't know, just it's so thrown together and not forced in so many ways here, unfortunately. So back here, they're coming up with a plan, I guess, to try to maybe make it to a balcony to escape. There's a balcony on the second floor. We can get out there to maybe get out.
They conveniently forgot that there was one.
The cameraman's like, we should go upstairs. And Mitchell says something like, well, how do you know that? And he goes, from your documentary. I thought that was funny.
My point, like they followed around this fucking guy that's an expert on the building.
Right? And
shit, you guys see this fire pole?
There's a slide.
God, that's what they need is a slide to just.
Yeah, I don't understand why they don't really try breaking more windows out or anything along those lines.
So many options,
because you can't break those windows at this location. We can't actually harm the house. They use this as a real Halloween haunted attraction. Yes,
that's part of the Airbnb rules.
Exactly.
That's right.
Mitchell is like, wait, what is that? Quiet. He like hears something, and then the lights go out, and there's a little voice that's like, "Sleep sweet" or "Sweet sleep" or something.
It was the ghost clapping.
It's
to turn the clapper off. That's what it was.
What's his name? Sort of the guy who seems like the asshole guy, the filmer in the first one.
Okay.
Says that before he turns the camera off in one of the scenes in the bedroom when he's talking to the camera.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Maybe that's what this room is.
I think that's his room. That
makes sense.
Yeah.
That because then that girl that we see. Okay, so because then they don't get the lights back on and the room's open, and you notice behind them there's this creepy little face peeking out. I don't know if you noticed that there is.
And there's
I think that's similar to like the creepy girl that was haunting him in his room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they should have just hid under the blanket.
Right. That's what he tried.
Just don't dangle your foot over it. The fucking monsters will get you.
Double socket. So
there you go.
But they just noticed the door open. They don't see the creepy girl, and Molly is missing at this point. There's a note posted on the door as well. Lovely Molly's in the basement with her friends is what it says. Fucking love that. That's great. Creepy moment. All good stuff right here, I think. So they head to the basement.
I think it's already happened. It's one of the times where they're like, and Scooby-Doo and rubbing around, where we see the chalkboard with like the names checked in on it We already
They're
saw
running
that,
up.
right?
They're running to.
Yes.
They're running to the room at that point. Yeah.
So we see that it has all their names on them, but the last name at the bottom is Steve Wynn.
It is.
Who you'd think if you were him making this, you'd be like,
Whoa.
whoa, no.
I don't like that at all.
And not be like, I'm going to open my next attraction there. With,
Right?
For the sequel. But
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I noticed that, but I didn't think about he's the one that's editing it.
yeah. And
He's
presumably
editing it,
and he had all this sent to him to make it, right? So
Mhm. He should have paused
by
it
that.
and it like a little arrow dings in it, just like ding, that's me. Like a fun little
You're wondering how I got here.
So you're probably wondering how I got here.
all of a sudden he starts narrating. I wouldn't be surprised if a narrator started coming into this movie all of a sudden out of nowhere.
It's Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Forrest Whitaker. Sorry. Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
there you
Forrest
go.
Whitaker. So we get to them going into the basement. Slowly, they get there with no incident, but it's nice tension building moments. Once in the basement, they see Molly's kind of like knocked out and chilling with the clowns.
Does the clown
Hold
have
on.
A knife through his
Does he have a
throat?
knife?
Yes.
I believe so.
Okay. It legitimately took me this viewing to realize that clown had a fucking knife.
I didn't even notice it.
Really?
Yeah. Just straight up. I was like, because I thought he was just doing this weird like mannequin like
There's
whole.
like a little thing in the
like you-
background.
Like he was an obstacle,
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
It's a-
that makes sense.
It's a regular sized thing
Yeah.
in the foreground.
Yeah, but then we passed by my favorite photo op too, right here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes,
that?
the chain.
The
Yeah,
chain,
The
the
shackle, and the,
the shackles.
the pentagram, and
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the VIP. You pay extra
That's
for that.
what when we go visit. That's where everybody's taking photos.
Hell yeah.
That's it.
I can't
Shuttle
wait.
bus breaks down at the Abaddon. All right, sorry.
We'll get there. So they creeped over to help her out. Jessica claims she hears something coming, and then boom, hell portal opens up. Cloak figures emerge as they free Molly. But David's taken by the figures into the portal.
Good thing that just happened off screen real quick because the little bit we get doesn't look
Great. I
Nope.
mean, yeah.
It's jarring because it's found footage. I feel like bad CGI in a cinematic movie. I feel like may not
It's jarring.
feel as jarring. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
depends
Yeah.
on how well it's done. In here, it kind of pops in.
I know you're becoming more and more a defender of bad CGI. It's becoming your thing.
I mean,
But,
I'm not like that turned. I'm trying to think of the context of this movie, what you're trying to portray and work with. Is there a better way you could have done it? I don't know. It's fine, but
Right.
I get it. It is incredibly jarring. But we get this hell portal and our cloak figures emerging and taking David off with him. Jessica, Mitchell, and Molly are now running up, getting out of here through the house, trying to escape. And we get the clown chasing them through the house as well. We get like that strobe scene of it getting closer, which I think is pretty
Which
good.
at least it's not just walking towards you or something. It's the weeping angel
Sure,
thing.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Glitch cut to the clown, like, I don't know, with a bloody fucking crying face. Then Morning Mysteries panel segment again.
That's what it looks
It's
like.
Jessica calling into the show. And Arnold Tasselman dismissing her and claiming that,
'Cause
is this the one that's been writing me?
We know this phone call
Right.
happened when they first got introduced.
She's like,
in
I'm
the
going to call.
movie. I'm going to call
Yeah.
in. And then they refer to the phone call later when she talks to Mitchell. And this is our first time
Yeah.
seeing it.
Who cares? We didn't need to
It's-
see any of this. I don't care about
She
this.
said-
We learned nothing.
she said, "For a good time, call."
I mean,
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, because I mean,
If you wanna know
it's
the
her
truth,
way that
just-
she was able to bait Mitchell. This
Go
is
to
where
this
she's like,
website.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, you can solve Diane's shit or whatever.
This was one of the dominoes.
Yeah.
one of the many dominoes falling into
with
place. here.
extra cheese.
Yeah, this is a
extra
cheesy
cheese
one
domino.
for sure. Cut back to the hotel. Mitchell has the camera now. He's running through the house. He makes it to a hallway with someone
guy-
on the floor talking on
The
the phone.
guy who said, drop the camera and run. And they were like, no, we film everything, is now picking up a camera and running with it.
Right, exactly. At this point, I'm like, yeah, why did he
The one
Do it.
character we've established is
doesn't
not
care
interested.
about this?
Right.
Maybe because of its light, it's the only light source.
Sure, that happened maybe in the first one. I know that there was some found footage movie where that's why they did this, and it was because of the light. Yeah,
exactly. Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, he grabs it, takes it with him, and we get to him coming up. Who's on the floor talking? I know it's one of the old Hell House crew. I don't know which person this was.
I want to say that is the girlfriend of Alex because she's really the only like prominent one. Like I think she's like the only prominent female in the cast in the first movie.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Because
well, she's all like, "No, Mom, I already told you. I'm already dead."
Oh my God.
He took us to hell and Mitchell's coming with us.
I'm like, oh shit. Oh no.
And then she goes all creep face.
I do like the line.
I'm Mitchell.
I'm Mitchell.
I do like the line as well. Sam, I agree with you. I think it's a good line. And he's like, good enough reason to run, falls, and I think knocks himself out.
Trips on his own shoelaces.
And somebody some ghost decides to adjust the camera to point it towards him.
When he wakes up.
The scene that they cut out, it was the Deadstream bit where he tied a rope around his waist and then tied it to some part of the Abaddon. So he just ran and then clotheslined himself. And that's how he fell down and was able to get.
Well, I understand that, but when like he falls, the camera's looking not at him. When he wakes up, the camera's looking at him. So I think I have a theory. It could be one of the cloaked figures because one of the cloaked figures at the end definitely becomes a cameraman.
That's true. And
I think it's one of the friends sitting there because only one is there at the end. You hear like the chair get pulled out and pushed back in.
Oh, damn it. I really wanted a cloaked figure holding the camera.
Tully does like it being filmed. Maybe Tully did it because later during his whole thing, he's like, "Don't put the camera down.
I need it filmed at Abaddon." All right. So he wakes himself up, or he wakes up. But cut in, there's more
himself up.
I guess he does. Don't we all wake ourselves up in some way or another?
Do we not wake ourselves up?
Cut in here are more shots from the Morning Mysteries panel, and Mitchell saying the hotel is very dangerous. The documentary is very real. Back at the hotel, Mitchell has made his way into the dining room where a dead-looking Alex and Andrew or Mac are sitting at the table. Molly and Jessica have sacks over the heads and are tied to some chairs against the wall. More shots coming in from Morning Mysteries. Cool. Host explains that next week we'll be talking to Russell Wynn, a tech entrepreneur that's been receiving weird videos from the hotel, and he's been quietly putting it all together. The show ends, and then the host gets like a message from her assistant saying they got a call from someone calling themselves Arnold Tesselman saying that he's sorry that he couldn't make it to the interview. He was in an accident and has been tied up.
She is
bad acting
so
here.
Mean to her assistant.
She's just really into her phone.
What, the fucking guy I just talked to? Yeah, fucking right. Get the fuck away from me. It's like, what? Why would you not believe her? Like,
you know who didn't flip that switch? Brock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Did you know what this guy looked like or ahead of time or check ID or anything? Couldn't, in theory, it be anybody showing up pretending to be somebody?
I am Arnold.
Yeah, it could be. I'm sure it's probably surprisingly easy to get on like some public access. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
If you know whoever X person is going to be on,
so why wouldn't
you just
why is she so
suit.
Dismissive?
Yeah, you just need a suit and then like a small American flag pin on your suit, and you could probably bullshit your way through any public access.
And you need to talk like this.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm here for the interview.
Yes, Abaddon Hotel.
It's got a strange voice.
So we get this strange incident here. Cut back to the hotel. Mitchell is now trying to untie the girls as a voice off screen calls to Mitchell and tells him to pick up the camera and like shoves it towards him.
Pick up the camera.
And so he does. So, and now we meet, it's Andrew Tully. But it was this, obviously the guy that was on the panel, Tasselman dude.
What the fuck are you doing here?
I would say after the events of this, you literally had a ghost on public access. And now this is a documentary. So if this movie is this quote unquote second documentary to come out, where it's like at this point, the cat's out of the bag. You had a ghost on public access.
It's all fake. They all planned it. It's all,
it's all dumb.
They were in on it.
Okay, I will get, okay.
You didn't see the green screen?
A lot of fucking green screen. Even their green screen at the end is a green screen. Like, it's not like they're on the green screen stage anymore. They put a green screen over their green screen.
Over that. I was
flabbergasted. They were using a blue screen.
Right?
So this whole scene, like this whole sequence, I don't know if there's a lot of cuts to this. I think there's one continuous scene that happens during this segment where Alex is at the table with, I think, was it Mac? Is Max also?
I think so.
Yeah.
Alex doesn't fucking blink the entire time. And it's amazing. My wife caught it like when I rewatched it for the second time for tonight's recording. And she's like, he didn't blink that entire time. I was like, no shit. And then I rewinded. I was like, oh God, that's like a solid 2 to 3 minutes of dialogue and shit sitting at a table. And he doesn't blink at all, which I was like, that's commitment. For the level of not acting in this movie, I like the fact that he muscled it through for the...
Well, that's because ghosts don't blink.
That's true.
Except for dramatic effect.
Except for dramatic
trying to spook somebody.
I say, unless you're about to get chased.
Exactly. Then they'll blink. If a ghost blinks, run.
Blink.
So he picks it up, starts filming Tully as Tully goes on his whole thing. Oh. We're all guests in his hotel. And Alex was the most important part in his dominoes, it seems, or something. Tully just wants more guests, needs more guests. We get a little mix in of like, we are Legion and we were fucking work for the Serpent and all that kind of good stuff in the Lake of Fire.
Lake of Fire.
We all need to sacrifice into the lake and
do it.
Cool. We get someone, he tells someone like to play the piano. He's like, play that ditty I like. And like we get our
play that song
next to it again. A cat over there with cat paws just doing this.
Play it again, Sam.
That's Diane, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she does that weird turn because it's like weird eye and then gore eye. But again, I almost would want to add it to the gorometer, but the lighting is so fucking low. And then like it's just that weird pupil fucking white eye and then kind of gore, but you can't really see it enough for it to be like gooey.
Well, definitely at this moment, we get another shot of it in a second. Mitchell starts losing because that's when he sees her play the piano. He starts losing it. So Tully asks someone to help with that damn camera. This is where we get someone else picking it up. And now there are hooded figures in the room. I noticed at this point too. And I guess this is when I thought one of them was the cameraman, but I guess it could be someone else or whoever, a dead person, who knows. Tully seems to control a lot of different entities and things, I guess.
Yeah. Well, when you're upper management, I mean, I feel like he's kind of
he's the manager of the hotel.
Upper middle management. Yeah. He's not like
upper middle management.
Yeah.
He's got some strings he can pull.
He might be like regional manager, I think, but
everybody here reports to him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Tully explains that in order to keep the dominoes falling, one of them gets to leave, and it's Mitchell's choice. But since he can't pick quickly enough, Tully decides to take out one of the options. This is when Molly, off screen, but she gets it to the gut, and then we do see, I guess, some blood around it and a knife bit of blood in her gut. That's one of the other gore, quote unquote, things. I'm thinking about specifically. Molly gets it to the gut. Mitchell needs to decide. Tully already has so many plans, but someone needs to leave first so that they can just continue to spread the word and draw people into this place. The camera moves to the piano player as Jessica screams.
Meow, meow, meow,
a knife slit noise is heard. Meow. And then I think this is where we just get her like staring in the red with like the red light. And then she's just like, not good. I don't like this moment where we're just like this like close up stay on her face for so long and just look at it. I'm like, what are we doing?
What are we doing here? Right?
Yeah, pretty much. Cut back to a beat up Jessica. Okay, yeah, that's right. That's right. The moment I'm thinking of happens right after this, right where we cut back to beat up Jessica. Cops are like, "Can you remember anything? Where you were? Was it near you?" Or fuck, sorry, I am all over the place with this because it's like this fucking movie.
What? Oh, you mean Bryan? Because there's 1,000 cut scenes in this.
Exactly. I'm like, where the fuck are the cuts coming in? This is the final one. where, well, no, it's not. It's supposed to be the final shot of the movie.
Choose this fucking movie.
I forgot how
Convoluted it is.
Yes. Cops ask her, can you remember anything? Where were you? Was it near anything? And then like one of them like passes in front of the camera and we get like a creepy dead face. Ooh, scary.
Gorier and looking.
That's the Abaddon face.
Yeah,
Abaddon
she got
face.
the Abaddon. She got that Abaddon face.
She got that Abaddon face.
She put her Abaddon.
And then she's just like, the Abaddon Hotel. That's where I was. You should go there. Credits begin to roll.
There's dominoes.
Right.
Again, the dominoes, the beautiful dominoes. And then for some reason we get some interspliced footage.
Because you can't just let one thing roll. You got to cut stuff into it.
You got to cut stuff into it.
And it's just the meetings of like Alex and Mac, like explaining stuff that we kind of already know, but just showing them talk about it more. Like the setup for the setup to go there. I was looking up like, because all this is supposed to take place, I believe, in like upstate New York, but it's actually filmed out in Pennsylvania. So I was able to find like, it's not that far out. I want to visit it sometime. That should be fun.
I really want to go
visit it.
We could go to the restaurant where they're having Alex and Mac are having. I found where that restaurant's at. I was able to like, because you see a hotel.
You should live stream the whole thing
across the street. So I was like, I found that
And
hotel.
then when you walk in live streaming, just stand at the staircase. And
I'm sorry. I'll go now.
I'll go now.
Yeah.
They're like, fucking another one. We got another Hell House there. And that's it. That's the Hell House, the Abaddon Hotel LLC II Full Throttle. Do you guys have any final thoughts before
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo.
break into our crematorium of questions?
I think I still kind of like this movie, even though it's not good. And usually I only like not good movies if they're so bad they're good.
Yeah.
But it's something about the lore, this world. I just like going to see what's up in the Hell House area.
I think that's why I like the third one. I don't remember. Maybe it is just as convoluted, or maybe it wasn't. I feel like I liked it because there's something about the lore that I just enjoyed more of it.
And it's all... They really go ham on like the trying to solve the mystery in the next few install. Like it starts here, but then it's trying to, it just goes bonkers.
Anywho.
My biggest gripe is I wanted just give me a movie about a haunted house. I don't need storyline like that, Like,
well, it's like this one was made to set up further sequels.
That's what it feels like. That's what it really does feel like, unfortunately.
That's why I really dig the vignettes, is because that's all we're getting is the fucking haunted house part.
It should have just been
totally.
Brock
put
Davies production
to begin it
should have been,
instead of splicing them in throughout other things. Should have been Brock Davies.
Our Jessica and whoever character, I felt like Brock Davies either shouldn't have been in it at all, or it should have just been all his show, and that's what the documentary was following.
It totally
that footage
gives a reason for him to be there, like him being this guy, and
Yeah, I feel like that would flow better. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a quick break, and then we'll jump into our questions.
The Abaddon Hotel.
All right, so here we are back into the crematorium of questions and the Abaddon Hotel. First off, would we survive? So the Chuddle Bus is chugging along. We need somewhere to stay the night, guys. We come along and see this grand old place, the Abaddon Hotel, and it's just beckoning us to come in and stay the night. So we pop ourselves in. Do you think there is a way to escape the Abaddon Hotel?
So far, we haven't seen one, so I'm going to say that we don't survive.
I think we're pretty screwed once you're in its clutches.
Yeah.
No, or just don't go in.
Or just, don't go in. Or I think the only way that you probably would survive, and I'm talking like very slim chance, if you haggled with Tully to get out, be like, hey, if you let me loose,
I will bring people here every day.
Bring your souls.
I'll drop an entire bus of orphans into this
orphan
place.
Souls, nice.
Virgin blood, just children blood. I'm just thinking like it's satanic stuff. So it's like I gotta think of like satanic panic type stuff. Nuns. I'll bring a whole flock of nuns into this thing if you need to. You know what I mean? Like
you're like, you need Domino's, I'm your delivery guy.
yes.
I'll get you souls 30 minutes or less. I got you.
There you go.
I feel like now maybe the only way you could get in is for some reason if they're in and out. Because presumably, cops searched the residents or something, right?
Yeah.
So it's selective on who it consumes.
Right.
You know what I mean? As in, like, because like emergency, like, because when they've had like
What do you
firefighters,
taste like?
yeah, what do you taste
Right,
like?
yeah,
They've had like firefighters and paramedics. They've had police officers, things like that, and none of those get consumed. It's usually like
Small. It's got to be
smaller
Well-
groups or like individuals, things like
Is it?
that.
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, because it's the original cult, and then the biggest event happens when there's a whole giant mass of people in
Yeah.
there, and then it cools
only
out.
takes 7 of the people of all the people that died then.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think like if we're on its list, I think you're pretty screwed.
Yeah.
I don't know what the
Yeah.
window situation's like, if we're allowed to try to break the windows, but that's my
Hey,
own.
be
They're nailed
respectful.
Yep.
Or maybe it's
There's
like a
nothing-
Brooklyn. Maybe it's like a Brooklyn 4-5. Is that like if you just keep on trying to like bash the windows, they just won't do anything.
I just figured it
It's
wouldn't
like,
That's what I
break.
was thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're in
Yeah.
there. So biggest, I think most important question to ask here. How would you make this one gooier? Does it need to be gooier? I think it could be a little bit
Yep.
gooier. I don't think you have to go
A
outlandish
smidge.
with
Kick
it
up
if you
to a
still
2 or
want
a
to.
3.
Because I still like this.
Too wild.
I love this series being in that kind of like entry level, a good entry level and world, and not being too gory. But yeah, kick it up to a
Yes.
3 or 4.
I would have loved to have seen some kind of sequence in the basement with the shackles, to be the photo op, to be totally honest with you, where it'd be like either the
A goo sequence with the shackles?
or it would be like, okay, so what was it, the girl,
Alright.
the actress that was in there in the first one that's
Mhm.
basically tied and the ritual happens. I would love to have seen like a ghost version of her still shackled up there, but maybe like
Eviscerated.
When
yes,
the
like
portal,
just disemboweled or like
yeah, or
something.
when the portal
gory.
opens, like she like fucking gets sucked, like literally sucked into it.
Yes,
sucked
or
off
something
screen.
like that.
Something.
And the
good.
arms are still just up.
That'd
Yeah.
be fun.
That'd be a fun one.
I think make the gore a little wetter, like like the
Yes.
ghost face. Just make it just a little bit wetter. Like that would be
That
okay
could
with
help.
me. I don't. Yeah, sure.
Everything-
like
Let's see something drip.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
I'm down with that.
a
Making
little
it
bit
wetter
more
always
ghost.
helps, I think.
Yeah, a little more ghost grease.
There you go. Yeah,
All right.
put some turpentine.
Our villain, the Abaddon Hotel, Andrew Tully, whatever this is here going
I
on.
think it's got to be the Abaddon Hotel, right?
Abaddon Hotel.
What are we rating? We got to decide one or the other.
The Abaddon Hotel.
Tully or okay.
Power level and iconography. Combine that to get our 1 through 10. Power level is
To me, it's a 5 because like
yeah.
it's. I mean, this thing
There's
is
no
not
escape.
contained.
right.
There's no escape from it
Mhm.
once you get into it. It manipulates people to the nth degree to get into the actual building itself. It's not contained
It's
by
a Hellmouth, right?
It relies
Yeah.
heavily on dominoes.
It does.
It
But they
rely-
work.
They seem
Doesn't
to work.
like mushrooms.
Yeah.
No mushrooms. Yeah, I'll give it the 5 power level.
It's like a giant game of mousetrap.
And I think for iconography for me is actually lower than what I would have given like the Abaddon Hotel in the first one, because again, this one is a little, it's weird. It's not even about the haunted house, but this gives me more haunted house vibes. So it feels a little hokier than the first one, if that makes sense.
Sure,
Yes.
I feel like we're less
Sure.
in the room. Like it doesn't feel as much
in
as
the
a
first
character.
one, we know a lot of the rooms. We're in the same rooms
Yes.
a lot in the first one, and this
Yes.
is just flying through the place the whole time.
It's like you remember
Yeah.
this room, boom. Remember this one, boom. And we're like kind of like going through it a little bit here. But so, what would you give the iconography of it? So what does that mean?
Ooh. I'd probably maybe give it like a 3.5. I mean, it could be knocking it a 4.
No,
I mean,
it's
it's
great.
powerful and it's still weird. It's just
That'd be an
Not as-
8.5, which is pretty strong. The Abaddon Hotels.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 3.5 as well. So
I'll
Yeah.
agree.
yeah.
8.5
Look at
across
us.
the board.
Look at us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
what a villain!
What a villain.
What a villain. What a movie.
All right, sequel time. Sequel to this one. Do you want to see a sequel? Does it deserve a sequel? I mean, obviously, it's setting up for a sequel.
So I'm happy that we have sequels and are going to continue to have sequels. Like I said, I like this world. Does this movie deserve a sequel?
That's a different question.
I would lean no, yeah. Unless if I were to, pretending the other movies don't exist, my sequel would be a prequel of Brock going somewhere else and proving
There
that
you
he actually has these ghost things, even though he comes off as this like phony egotist, you know.
Yep. Ross,
that would be my.
Again, I love the universe of it. I feel that I don't think it necessarily needs a sequel to this, although there's so many things that are like intentionally put in this movie to expand upon and like just a delivery service for more sequels. I think really leading heavy onto like just the vignettes or just the smaller ones. I would love the sequel to be a website hosted about the Abaddon Hotel, and it's a anthology of different videos that they've found from like the 80s on, where it's just basically like a web host kind of curating
anthology.
Yes,
that'd be fun.
It's just
to get an anthology movie in the Hell House world, and you can just have different directors and writers do different Hell House LLC type segments.
And you could have one where, because like you haven't really seen the actual hotel as a hotel. So like if you had it set up where it's like Tully's still alive and some of the weird things that are happening there, go forward in time, backward in time, so you can get timey-wimey with
generations of.
I like
but
that.
you get timey-wimey with it. But the idea is we're watching them in segments like an anthology, not interspliced all together.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. All
and
happening at once.
And you can use like a website for it, as in like maybe not something as like cruel as ogrish.com or something like that, but like some kind of like curated website where it's like
you could just have some documentarian have put them together. I like the website thing seems a little weird to me. Like what, we're just going to watch a screen and watch a cursor go over and click on something. I mean, I guess we could, but
I mean, they've done it in a bunch of other ones, but I mean, like,
I get what you're saying, Sam.
As like your frame story.
Oh yeah. There's like 2 or 3 found footage horror ones that's just like a website of just, but they all like correlate and they're like, it's different things, like but there's, I'll be sure to cover one soon.
Will you?
Dustin, do you have any ideas? Do you want to see a sequel to this?
Yeah, I think there's a 30-year gap. I mean, like what happened in between that? And I really like the idea of the anthology, but I would also like to think this is where creepypasta stem from.
Nice.
You know, give me someone to kind of like, you know, go in the direction of not just video. It can be someone telling a story like, hey, here's my experience that happened here. And we get a video of saying what happens in this video is just a dramatization of what the story says type of thing.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
But I'm cool. Totally down to see what happened in between then and now, you know, and then all of it's hosted by fucking Brock.
Yeah, just bring Brock. Or Brock.
He's been the same for 30 plus years.
Yeah, I think
it turns out that Brock is a Highlander.
The reason he can talk to ghosts is because he is a ghost.
I like that he's like the Robert Stack host of whatever this is.
Right.
Yeah.
That works for me. All right. So anyone buying the soundtrack or score to this on vinyl? I don't even just the meow mix. Yeah. You want that piano tune on vinyl?
Found footage. You don't have it.
I think I'm good.
Yeah. No, thanks. Because there's nothing there besides meow mix. Anything action figure worthy, of course. I mean, the clown itself is action figure worthy.
Classic.
Yes. A robed hooded figure would be cool. Like standing around a hell portal. A whole playset, a basement playset would be nice.
That would be nice.
Basement Dreamland, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Any other action figure worthy things? I mean, I don't think
maybe the morning talk show playset.
Morning Mysteries playset.
Mysteries playset.
Green screen sold separately.
Would be sweet.
Green screen not included.
Merch or prop though? Any merch or props that you want?
The clown again.
Yeah.
The planchette.
The planchette's a good
planchette would be
choice.
tight.
Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe one of those nooses. That's Brock's noose.
Sure.
Yeah.
Brock's noose would be great. I would love the.
Why do you have a noose over there? Oh, have you seen Hell House LLC II?
Yeah.
The Abaddon Hotel.
The Abaddon Hotel. I would do the board that had all their names on it. Like,
that's cool.
Sure. The checking board. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I do like there's another part where like they're running through the house and like, and they pan over, like you get like a full frame of the door with the knocker on it.
Ooh,
it's like the Amish dude with the black hat and the big beard.
Yes.
That'd be pretty tight.
Yeah. No, a lot of neat things in here to grab. All right. Finally with this, what is the promotional popcorn bucket?
Clown
the
face.
house, the clown's face. The house.
The clown's face
is always a good option. Somehow you open it up, get your hand all stuck in
maybe
there.
maybe just, what is it, Diane's face with the half of the wound, so you just have to like get
There you go. There you go.
And it's like the Dune bucket, but just on the eye.
just the eye. Yeah.
I feel like it'd have to be the clown because this movie is so all over the place. It's hard to like pick up on like a single thread to really expand upon, or the hotel itself.
Yeah, the Abaddon Hotel.
Yeah.
Unless it's like branded for that Monday morning show, like if you like
morning mysteries,
morning
popcorn bucket.
Yes.
There you go.
I love my morning mysteries. Like
I want a Brock Davies Paranormal Show popcorn bucket. Brandon, there you go. I'll take that one instead. All right. With that all said, let's go ahead and jump into our ratings.
I only want your fingers.
Should we all like cut our fingers open and bleed on it?
Can you wrap your fingers around this?
I'll take a Voorhees burger and a side of Jason's fingers.
Show them.
It's now time to pull out our Abaddon Hotels as we rate this film on our Chuddle scale. We're going to, I don't know, cut our fingers off with a hotel somehow. On this show, we like to use our subjective rating scale of 0 to 5 fingers. Each cut off finger adds to the score, with more fingers equaling a higher score. I'll be happy to kick us off, and Sam,
All right,
Ross, and then we'll head over to you, Dustin, last. All right. In engaging, I'm going to give this one a 0.5. I mean, it was hard for me to remain maybe it could be a little bit harder, but it's hard for me to remain engaged with how much we're jumping around, especially when to segments that I didn't really care about any of the time that we were on the morning mystery segment. Especially with each subsequent viewing, I was less engaged.
every time I went back to it.
So 0.5 for that one. Sticky. Ooh, this one maybe a 0.5 as well. Like, I'll definitely remember the Abaddon Hotel and that stupid noise now. I'll remember certain things at Brock Davies for sure.
Meow.
I mean, that was in the first one, so I'm just remembering that, I would say,
Right.
from Hell House LLC director's cut. But like, with this one, I'm sure like Tully, and there's elements that'll stick, but it's not overall going to be super sticky. So 0.5. T-shirtable. Ooh. 0.25. I'll give it a 0.25. Because like, while I wouldn't be completely opposed if somebody gave me a Hell House LLC II, the Abaddon Hotel t-shirt that was decent enough looking, I'd wear it.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not buying that. Cockles. This is tough. 0.5. Because again, it's like, I love living in the Hell House LLC world, but it turns off a lot of my cockles in terms of plenty of different things here. Rewatchable. 0.25. I'd give it a 0. If I give it a 0, that means I would never want to watch this again. I'd watch this again. I just don't care to. I've seen it enough at this point. So what does that round me in at, Sam?
2.
Great.
As I feel.
That works. All right, bud. I want to hear what you think.
Am I bud?
You are
Your
bud.
Okay.
Yeah, your bud.
I think
Or Chud bud.
engaging. I was going back and forth. I think I'm going to go 0.75, which might be a little generous. It certainly could be a 0.5, but I'm not. It's hard because both times I wasn't paying too much attention, I don't think. But I'm still kind of interested. So whatever, 0.75. 0.5 for Sticky, the next one. Because I pretty much remembered kind of everything that was going to happen when I came back to it for this. But I will never find myself thinking about this movie. So I remember it, but I don't think about it. T-shirtable. That is a tough one. I guess I'll go 0.25 because kind of like with Bryan, I'm not against the idea of it, but unless like a cool one made its way into my possession, I'm not going out of my way to get one.
Totally.
Cockles, I'll give a 0.75 to. because it's kind of like the only thing I like about this movie is just being in the hotel and the lore of it all and all that. Just the
HHCU LLC.
Yeah, the what is it called?
Hell House
Hotel
Cinematic
House?
Universe
Hell
LLC.
House. Hell House Limited Liability Corporation Cinematic Universe.
Oh, yeah. HHLLCCU.
Yeah. It certainly could go lower because there is a lot of it that just does not work at all. But again, I'm okay with it because I like being in the world.
Yeah. Feel you, man.
And rewatchable, I will go to 0.54 instead of 0.25. 0.25 being, I would watch it again sometime. 0.5, I'm going a little higher for the, I could see myself doing rewatches of this series. I'm certainly not picking it up on its own. But for instance, with 5 coming out, I may watch all 4 of them again before 5 comes out. So
yeah.
2.5 there, which is 2.75, which is good. It shows that I like it, but it's still not like a great score. It's just above neutral.
Totally.
All right, pal, your turn.
Oh, nice. It's going to be really funny. No, Sam and I almost have the exact same score, which is hilarious.
How?
No, how? Because I enjoy it, but I also realize that this movie is not great. I enjoy it, but through our Chuddle scale,
great.
It's it has to be very honest. So it's
the Chuddle scale.
Let's go through the scale. Let's go through it.
So engaging for me is a 0.75 because I think I am engaged. I think it's because it's all over the fucking place. I have to be more engaged while I'm watching it, but in subsequent rewatches, I disengage from it because of I don't know, my attention span isn't there the entire time. Unlike the first time, because it was fucking all over the place where you had to really pay attention. This is not a
it's not like you're getting more out of it on every viewing.
Totally.
Right.
Sticky is going to get a Sticky. Yeah, Sticky's going to get a 0.5 because again, it's all based off of the really good jump scares and the ominous shit, the vignettes of just I had more fun with the snippets than the main storyline, but the snippets had the stickiness to me. The feet on the stairs is going to creep me out. The 2 guys going into the basement with the hitchhiker is going to definitely fucking freaks me out. And those will stick with me, but it's really funny because it's those stick with me hard, super good. It just gets my goat. But then the main storyline is it's all right.
Yeah. Right.
T-shirt. Well, actually, this may actually T-shirtable actually will get a 0.5 because I had it at 0.25, but 0.5 because I would absolutely have the morning TV show, the Abaddon Hotel staff shirt would be amazing. So having one of those.
See that?
No, but just having it as a thingy.
But then is that for the second movie or just for the series?
Well, this one is called the Abaddon Hotel, so I figured if you're going to have a hotel shirt, it would be based off of this one. Or just some stupid logo and just having Brock's something, and then just having whatever
Brock
his brand.
Davies shirt.
A Brock Davies shirt would be hilarious.
To wear,
it would be such a deep cut though, where if someone's the one person that would actually recognize the Brock shirt, I'd have to give him a high five and a hug, being
I think you'd be a little bit more surprised about how many people might. This series has a pretty big.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. So
if anything,
there's got to be a lot of Brock boys out there.
Yeah, you'd be oh, you like this movie a lot more than me if you recognize what this is.
Brock bodies. I'm sure. There's Brock people Brockies. Of all Brockies.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Brockies. Hide the Brockies.
Hide the Brockies, dude.
What's your cockles?
Cockles going to be a 0.5. I think that I really like the universe. It's fucking. I just have so much fun with it. And when the scares and the buildups work, they fucking work. And they give me the fucking creepies like not a lot of found footage and not a lot of horror movies honestly do. But this one fumbles so hard that when it counts that I'm just like, God damn it. But like, it's still good. I still enjoy it, you know? So yeah, so it's Cockles get a 0.5, and then Rewatchable's also going to get a 0.5 from me just because I feel that I am going to revisit this, but I think Sam makes a good point. Like I'm going to visit it in like a block, as in like, this is one of those series that I do not mind watching 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then when the 5th one comes out, I'll watch them all over again just to prep myself for the 5th one coming out. You know what I mean? And I think that's true. Cause like, I just like the universe so much. Very few movies I would go from one all the way through for a new one coming out. I will do that with Hell House almost every single time.
I thought you were going to say very few movies can be this bad, but I still want to watch them.
But I also agree with that too, where it's like, there is a level of cheese to these fucking movies that you have to really be okay with.
The first one,
not the
so
first
good.
one.
I know I gave it a 4.5 when we did it.
Yeah, but it is shy of the first one.
But
like
also,
I said,
when we did the first one, you told me that you like the second one as much or more than the first one.
Oh yeah, I mean,
so I
like
think you've changed your mind
after a few more viewings. Yeah. But I never put 2 through the Chuddle scale. You know what I mean? Where it's like, when I'm actually like dissecting it, I think as like a whole, I do like the twists and turns. And when I first saw it, I really did like how it's just weird. I don't know. It's just, the whole thing is just really weird. And in this
didn't
one,
hold up.
Exactly.
That second viewing or whatever it was really changed it.
It did.
Fantastic. So that brings us over to our guest this evening. Dustin, we're going to walk you through the scale here and get your score.
All right. Engaging is going to be a 0.5 for me. Like I said, because like there's a lot that I did like, and there's plenty I don't like of this movie. I guess as for the sticky stuff, there's like a lot memorable, that will. Yeah. The clown for sure. The name Abaddon Hotel is pretty anonymous. You know?
Abaddon.
Yeah. Shirt, I was actually going to lean towards what Ross was saying, man, because I would absolutely wear a Brock tee.
Yes, dude.
I was going to ask if that counted.
Sure.
And I would I wouldn't wear a Hell House LLC shirt, but I would wear a Abaddon Hotel shirt.
Right.
Yes.
And I get what you mean now, Ross. Just in my head, I was thinking of it wrong.
It's kind of like, you're like, I visited this place. I got their fucking swag.
Yeah.
Right.
That would be a hilarious one where it's like I survived. It was like I stayed the night at the Abaddon Hotel and I lost my soul and all I got was this lousy T-shirt.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's.
So Dustin, do you think? Oh yeah, go ahead.
0.75.
0.75.
If those count,
totally.
Yeah. Now explain to me what
cockles. Yeah. This is like so if you've heard the phrase cockles of your heart, this is it warms the cockles of your heart. This is more a je ne sais quoi. You can't quite put your finger on it. It's just that thing, something about it that you're into.
I'm gonna give that the 0.25, man.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That is totally fair.
And as for rewatch, I'm on the same boat as you guys. When the new one's coming out, I'm absolutely going to sit down and watch all these movies again. So I'm going to give the rewatch a 0.5.
And that gives you a 2.5 out of 5. Does that feel right to you? Is that what you think you would have given it? Too high, too low?
No, that's fair. That's that means I would suggest this movie to someone, I feel like if I'm giving it half the score,
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, this is the part where we see what the club has to say. We only got a few responses because, of course, we remembered to ask people a few hours before recording.
The heat is on.
But I'm going to get that for us right now. Evan, our witchy brethren, jumping in, saying, engaging, 0.25. I prefer the first one to this. Not saying it's bad, but it's not great. It's okay. You can say it's bad. Yeah. Sticky, 0. I watched it yesterday and nothing really stuck to me. T-shirtable, 0.5. Oh, God damn it. Sorry, I lost it. All right. T-shirtable, 0.5. I suppose some cult members on a shirt work with Abaddon in the background. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of Ross came up with good ones. Cockles 0. Sorry, this didn't drain anything other than an hour and 29 minutes of my time.
That's pretty good.
Rewatchable 0.75. Maybe I'm being an ass because I was sick watching it, so maybe, just maybe, I'll check it out again. I hope we're all around the same consensus of 1.5 fingers in the grave. I could go to 1.75. We are not. We all kind of like it, despite everything you just said being true.
Everything you said was true, but against all odds,
But that's why, like, for a movie that we like, we can't even rate it that high because there's so many issues going on with it. Then we have Tiger Snake Kate jumping in. She wasn't sure if she was too late, so she just gave us some comments. She really loves the first movie and was excited for it. The acting in the first part and in this one, the acting in the first part made me really question my willingness to finish it, but I'm glad I persisted because I ended up enjoying it. Absolutely understand that.
Totally.
Especially if the actors start off so bad. As much as I can admit it, the acting in these can be a little dodgy at times. I find the whole franchise really enjoyable, and it genuinely creeps me out whilst watching it, and afterwards all the lights are on. I did pick the twist in this one, which is a rare occurrence for me. Oh, she knew that guy was gonna... I had no idea he was gonna be Tully.
He looks like a fucking bad guy.
He does, but he's playing a bad guy in the scene. I don't know. Who knows? I guess I wasn't even thinking about what direction this movie was going in because I was just trying to stay up to date with what was happening. Hardbody Scotty joined in. He said, my favorite memory of Hell House LLC II was the night I started it and never finished it. So that is about all we got for this one.
Do you think the cult members, like under their hoods, when they take their hoods and robes off, they have a shirt that says cult on the back instead of crew?
Oh, yeah. I love that. Bryan hasn't said anything. Bryan stepped away. I don't know if he is coming back, but we are at the end of the episode, so I'm gonna take the lead.
Bring us home, Sam.
We're gonna see how this compares to other movies in the Goo book. Yet, what is the score on this guy? Our average score for the three of us is a 2.5. I wonder how many other 2.5s we have in our Goo book. Let's see here. Bryan usually does this sorting.
He's our math guy.
He's our spreadsheet guy. Let me try this.
That Abaddon spread.
Oh, I think if I do it up here. There we go.
You go down the basement, there's a swing instead of just shackles.
Shackles.
All right.
You think those are for wrists?
I have to put my wrists in that? Yes.
Other 2.5s, we have The Boneyard, Child's Play 2. Oh, that Ross, we don't have your score for that. That's why that's off.
That makes sense.
Final Destination 5, Friday the 13th Part 2. I'm pretty sure I drug that down because I don't like that one. And Malignant, which Bryan likes, but you and I do not. That's one of the few, Ross, that Bryan has higher than we do. I don't know if there's many of those. And then those are all our 2.5s. Just above that at 2.7, we got stuff like Caveat, Cocaine Bear, and Jeepers Creepers. Caveat, apparently, yeah, Bryan, you're at a 4.5. Bryan was a 2, and I was a 1.5.
Yeah. Well, that also... gotta give Kevin when we recorded that episode, didn't I have to talk to you guys about the movie because neither one of you watched it
yet? This was way back, one of our early things where you were just coming and talking to us about a movie. We hadn't figured out the show yet. We weren't all horror movies, all that sort of stuff. Yes, you are correct. So he and I watched this on our own for our first re-ratings episode. Anywho, that's where it lands. 2.3, you got The Final Destination, X and Seed of Chucky. 2.8, Willy's Wonderland, Possession, Dashcam. Willy's Wonderland is still too high.
That movie's a good time, man.
Yeah, that's what they
Sam
say.
fucking hates that movie with a passion.
It's a good time.
Ross and Bryan each gave that a 4. I gave it a 0.5. Well, that concludes our meeting for the night. I'd like to thank our guest for being here, Dustin. Why don't you hit everybody with everything you got going on one more time before we get out of here?
Definitely. I really appreciate you guys letting me come on talking about the Abaddon Hotel with you guys. I run the Flicks and Friends podcast. We're on every podcatcher you can think of. We're on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and the Facebook, all under Flicks and Friends podcast. Part of B Action, which is located. It's a sub channel off of Give Me Back My Action and Horror Movies. We talk about just B Action movies. And I'm also part of the Baron's Hideout podcast, which is straight up horror. So, and they're on all social medias on all of those.
So check out, if you couldn't get enough here, you got 3 other podcasts to go find them on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
My guest script doesn't have how we normally end it on here, so I'm going to do it off the top of the head. Follow Chuddle the Pod.
Off the dome.
Facebook, Instagram. Actually, don't worry about Facebook. We never post on there. Instagram, Threads. Those are big 2 places that we post. Follow Chuddle the Bryan with a Y, Chuddle the Sam on Letterboxd if you want to see what movies we're watching. Follow Ross Purvis with a Purvis on Instagram if you want to see his tattoos, buy his art. If you're in the Central Florida area, get tattooed by him. We would like to thank everybody for listening so far, and I know, well, I don't know if it's been a long one, but we appreciate anybody who sticks to the end, because that's always tough. Tell your friends about us, rate us if you haven't, and until next time, avoid the time loop.